Alright, it is time to get started. This is Grymbreakers for another month. It's the Invitational. My name's Fish on a Heater, and I'm surrounded by four amazing, talented, handsome gentlemen. First up, let's go around the room. Above me here, we've got Matthew Breaker. Hey, introduce yourself, Matthew Breaker.
No, the fake Matthew Breaker.
Brewer. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's fine. I've actually messaged Matthew Breaker's opponents before, trying to organise him to play them.
Yeah.
I'm Matthew Brewer. I'm a UK/Canadian player. Mainly play Sylph. Made the European Continentals finals last season. Finished 5th in the North American Continentals this season. Do a bit of YouTube stuff about Sylph, but I've been a bit quiet recently. But
nice.
It's worth checking out, I think.
Great to have you here. And next to Matthew Brewer Breaker, we've got Nico Giro. Hello, Nico.
Hello, man. Hello, everyone. So I'm a French player. Actually, not in the team you're gonna see for the Invitational, even though I've been in the Grymbreaker French team for a while. Not playing a lot anymore, but very happy to be there with you. And I've gone pretty well on EUIC the first day and less the second day. Yeah, and I don't know which one of us is handsome for 2, because I think you are surrounded only by 3 handsome men, not 4. But yeah, maybe it's me. I don't know.
There's been so much going on. I don't want to make there's going to be a lot of mistakes happening on my end. You guys are going to be perfect. You guys are going to be professionals. And I'll just try and not ruin your stylish casting. And to my right on the screen is a man who doesn't seem to be moving very much, but he is there. He is alive. It is the man we all know and love in the community. It is Nexus Ilya.
Well, hi guys. Actually, it is 4. Fish just counted the Bralum on my head, of course.
That's it.
Yeah, that must have been it. Yeah.
So no mistakes. No mistakes.
No mistakes. That'll be our motto tonight. No mistakes. All right, so this was a special invitational format of the normal Grymbreakers competition. So, Ilya, do you want to run us through how the invitational worked?
Okay, so while usually we use the Sylph meta of the current month, this time around we didn't have one, and since it's the end of the season, we decided to draft a meta, as we can see on our right side here, which the top 5 countries on our leaderboard drafted, each selecting 1 typing and banning 2 specific species, while also we banned a couple Pokemon, e.g. all the Ultra Beasts, all the Galarian Birds, as well as Dubwool once the update came around, because we considered it too good.
You gotta ban
and
Dubwool.
we couldn't let it go there. So yeah, we have 10 banned Pokemon species, we have 5 types, and 20, I want to say 25, because that's what was said on stream yesterday, but I believe it's 24, since it has to be divisible by 3, I believe.
Makes sense.
Since we had group stages, and then we have a double elimination bracket since, which, of course, if you lose in the group stage, it didn't count towards your later double elimination bracket process proceeding. However, we are now in the losers semi-finals, I want to say, and then tomorrow we're gonna have the losers finals and grand finals after that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we have, I'm gonna just bring up a big old screen here. This is the bracket that we've had so far, and let me scroll towards the beginning there. So we have had a lot of competitors here competing. We've got 16 teams just making it through to the double elimination stage, and we have made it all the way down to, there's just like 3 teams remaining, I think it is. So we've got Italy, that let's see, we've got Italy, France, and Chile by the look of it. Oh, and then there's
Italy lost to USA yesterday on stream, so they are facing
USA
against the winner of
still
this matchup in the losers finals tomorrow.
Yeah, so we do still have 4. No mistakes. No, no mistakes.
No mistakes. No mistakes.
So Italy will be facing the winner of this France and Chile battle,
Okay.
and the loser of this one will be eliminated. Done like their previous opponents. Spain, India, Belgium, they're all gone, and it is just these countries remaining. Ilya, was there any kind of matchups that stood out to you? Any ones that you were really excited about?
I find it quite interesting that Chile, which is now in the top 4, lost to India. So India has had quite an upbringing ever since sneak-ins and denials have been consistent.
Yes, I have heard that.
And it's quite great to see. But then they also lost the matchup, which happened after the move update, as against Chile. So they had a rematch, which was also something that France against Belgium, where Belgium bat France before the move update and then lost to the same team after it.
Wow, that's
Okay.
amazing.
Are you sure about this? They played twice?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Because from what I follow from a side, but I think in the group phases, France lost against India that you just mentioned, then finished second, then lost the first round of the winner brackets against Italy, who has shown being very strong
Fish, can you scroll up a bit?
I sure can.
And then I think France has been
To the
great
left.
in lower brackets.
Italy. Okay, France lost to Italy.
Yeah, and France actually had 2 very amazing and clutch battles against neighbors, which are Belgium and Spain, which are 2 countries we
Belgium
played
lost.
a lot in the whole Grymbreakers season, and it was actually the first time that France was beating Spain after
Yeah,
a
I
very
remember somebody
disappointing
mentioning.
loss in the final.
I remember somebody mentioned yesterday that they played the same team before and after the move update, but I seem to forget who it was and which
Yeah, it's
teams
okay.
it was.
It's okay. And also France
Right,
went
it was
Brazil.
UK. It was UK. It was Hawkeye that brought it up, I believe.
Okay. And France also played Brazil, and it was very tight, 25-23, as we can see in losers bracket round 2. And it was the rematch of the final that happened during the last meta of the regular season, where France finally won in an epic final against Brazil. So
Yeah, who have historically been very, very good battlers. I know we've casted some semi-finals in the regular Grymbreakers competitions as well, involving Brazil. So let's move on to. Let me get back our handsome casters, all 3/4 of them. And next up, we have the individual matchups for each team. Let me just pop that up. So we have Asin. How do you pronounce it? Nico, you'll have to help me with the pronunciations. We got
Nico's gonna
Arsenio.
So we say Arsenio because
Arsenio.
his name is Arsène. And he is the little Arsène, so Arsenio.
Yep, and who else do we have?
Is the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dexbeat, which is well known now after his winnings in Lille Regional and his participation to the Worlds. Noxious.
And top 4 place in Bilbao.
And top 4 place in Bilbao. Top 3, if I'm not mistaken, but you're right.
Yeah, just mean day 2.
Yeah, for sure. OTK, which is the way we say OTK in French. GS Azer, which is our Brazilian guy but playing for France. DC Volpix and Tonton Batters. But interesting to say quickly with France is that a lot of different players played in this invitational, and it was great because a lot of us played during the season and were a little bit washed up. So it was really great to see additional players to join and have a lot of fun. So for me and Tragicomics are not playing against Chile, but OTK, for example, he was usually in Team B, but they all performed very great. So good to know for all gangsters like me to know we can retire and really the other French players are gonna rock.
Yeah,
for sure.
You've got a new generation coming through. And Matthew, you've obviously, you work really closely with the Silverina scene. Are there any battlers on the Chile side that you've had interaction with before and seen battle, and ones that you're particularly excited to see?
I've had the pleasure of battling Yokoski and Ventuski before, names that will be familiar to anyone who is involved in the Silph Arena, two top players.
Yeah, nice. Do you have tips?
I have tips. Try and avoid being matched up against them. So yeah, I think although that's the case with the South American teams, right? We've always seen the South American teams do well. There are some amazing players down there. Like the strength in depth that a lot of those South American countries have is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me to see all 8 of the Chilean players play incredibly well. Yeah, kind of expect it at this point, really.
And 2 more things we got to get through before we get into the battles. I know you're all waiting for the battles. The first is that we are brought to you by Pogo Raiders. So if you are looking for an online tool for hosting or joining raids, you got to check out Pogo Raiders. They have been optimizing a fully custom raiding organization tool for over a year, with over 3,000 raids a day and over 150,000 members. You've got to try their free raiding tool. Beyond the raiding tool, Pogo Raiders also are a community of dedicated Pokemon Go players. Join their monthly PvP tournaments with cash prizes, find some help from some of the best players in the world, and access to infographics and information about everything coming up in Pokemon Go. Check them out at pogoraiders.gg or on Discord at discord.gg/Pogo Raiders. The final thing to mention is that, let me bring back that score that I had to get rid of for the matchups. This is why I'm not usually on screen and doing production at the same time, because it's like I've got to pause to think about what I'm doing and then get back to it. So
you're doing perfect.
Yeah, thank you. No mistakes. So you might have noticed that those scores are already 4 and 5. So there are some of these guys, they just want to battle. They don't care about getting their stuff shown on stream. So they've been a little bit slack with uploading their battles and getting to us in a timely fashion. So we're going to update you on these battles at the start and then show the rest of the battles from there. So we've got Arson versus Yokoski. That was a 3-0 on Yokoski's side, so that's 3 points to Chile. But then Sandudu avenged him against Memi, going 3-0 there for the French team. Finally, we have Sandudu versus Yokoski, who it was a 1-2 score to Yokoski. So that brings the total score to 5 for Chile and 4 for France. And that's where we are going to pick up heading into the first round of battles.
So it means we unfortunately won't see any of Yokoski or Sandudu.
Yeah, which is...
That's a shame.
Yeah, right, Matthew? You're like, I'm looking forward to Yokoski. I'm like, cool, we don't have any Yokoski.
Oh.
Yeah, you were thinking about avoiding him. He avoided us.
Yeah, that's right.
Avoid him.
All right, so we are going to get into Matthew and Nico. They're going to take us into the first set, but of course I've got to set up the cameras properly before I do that, so just give me a second.
No mistakes.
Yep, no mistakes. You guys talk about something while I set that up, because I don't have all the cameras set up. I just realized. Ilya, keep talking.
I had a quick look at the meta.
Yes.
I had a quick look at the meta before.
Do you want me to keep talking?
And,
no, that's right. Matthew's talking. He's got it.
It kind of feels to me like I was expecting a lot of Figure Off, a lot of Dragonair, a lot of Bug Steals, a lot of Crustle, a lot of Mandibus. So having no idea what people have picked, it'd be interesting to see whether people have gone down the sort of obvious routes, or whether people have tried to do a bit of anti-meta. Because it feels to me like the meta is very prominent in this format. What do you reckon, Nico?
Yeah, from what I've seen, I think, as you mentioned, the way the meta has been built, the French has been a little bit, annoying the opponent by picking the Dragon type, and I think it's leading to also pressure. I'm not responsible. I say it already. I don't want to be responsible for this, but I think it leads to a lot of fast move pressure. So I think it's gonna be a lot on this, and also mons which are capable of spamming the charge moves fastly. So I also think Vigoroth is very good in the meta.
I think there might be a reasonably strong place for Araquanid here. Like there isn't much stuff with huge bulk around. Like there's Umbreon, Mandibuzz, and Lickitung. But like Umbreon and Lickitung, particularly in a meta where Vigoroth is so strong, feel a little difficult to bring. Whereas Araquanid is resisting the counter from Vigoroth. It's doing neutral damage to dragons. You have to respect the shields from Bug Buzzers. So you might be able to do some cheeky bubble beam baits. Like I think Araquanid could be a strong sleeper pick here.
It is worth noting that since the move update, Lantern has been quite prevalent in the meta as well. Since Mandibuzz was so common, and Lantern is also quite a good counter to your mentioned Araquanid, while also having quite a lot of neutral matchups and only really losing to Dragonair, really.
Speaking of
Crystal
which,
now reliably with Surf.
we have the first two battlers ready, and they both have a lantern on their team. So we're going to transition into that. Ilya, we're going to see you at in a few sets time. Matthew, Nico, you have it from here.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So
Dragonite.
XP again, Decupy.
Wow,
Dragonite. Even if I'm not sure it's the way to pronounce it, sorry if it's not. And yeah, as mentioned, you were mentioning the Mandibuzz, I was mentioning the Vigoroth, Ilya was mentioning the Lantern, and we can see them. And we have also the Shadow Dragons. So I think the games are going to be very dynamic and maybe not that long.
The Drapion can spam out a load of moves, and it'd be interesting to see whether they're running sludge bombs to hit the Mandibuzz. You'd have thought so, right? But then presumably you drop Aqua Tail and then the bait, and you sort of suffer a bit speed-wise when you drop Aqua Tail. So it'd be interesting. I'm interested to see how the Drapion plays if indeed it is brought. And then Wormadam as well. Could be Confusion, could be Bug Bite. Without there being fighting types or fighting types around, maybe the need to run Confusion is dropped, and maybe we see a bit more fast move pressure from Bug Bites.
Yep, as they are capable to adapt the movesets for every matchups. I would say more Bug Bite, and interesting, Ilya was mentioning the dragon types were not resisted a lot in the meta, but Wormadam as a steel type is resisting the dragon fast moves. So I think, yeah, it could be interesting. I think the Vigoroth and the Drapion are pretty safe on the XP team, probably not playing both, but I would not be surprised, knowing also his playstyle, that he brings a lot the Vigoroth.
Fair. Let's get into it. See what happens. Also, Mandy versus Dragonite is really nice. So being able to outbulk that thing is nice.
Yeah, and the Chilean player who brought both is dragons, and yeah, who save switched on Dragonair, and the answer from the French is Escavalier.
And even though Aqua Tail is a weak move and doesn't have stab, the French player is realizing he has to save his health because otherwise he's just going to get Dragon Breath down. So use those shields while you can.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if XP is gonna as often lose the alignment to have some of energy lead. So that's why we do not have the shield now, but the farm down here is a little bit busy, and unfortunately cannot get this last move before fainting, which is, yeah, a little bit
So
sad.
it comes Vigoroth to farm, I think, yeah, maybe?
Because of the energy lead, maybe not. Maybe it's gonna take this energy, and Mandibuzz being a sponge for this energy. But
with Air Slash, there's a better ability to farm down the Dragonair also, which is nice.
Yeah,
but
will depend on the last one, but I would not be surprised. Maybe a Wormadam, and then he throws his energy, and Vigoroth is farming energy. But yeah,
And Mandibuzz has still got plenty of health to take on the Dragonite. Like, I know it's down to 50%, but that's still a lot of health on a Mandibuzz, right? That's
Yeah, for sure. And confirm the Wormadam is using Bug Bite as a fast move. And yeah, let's see if he sweeps aggressively right now. Yeah, I know, my man. We have style.
So I know Vigoroth used to win the ones, and I think now with Superpower, Dragonite can flip that if it lands the bait. So a bit more to think about here from the Vigoroth side. Do you shield the first one, or do you risk the Superpower coming through?
I'm pretty sure with the slight energy advantage, for sure you shield and you outpace with the second body slam. Question is it gonna KO directly? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the Dragonite, Dragonite can survive with a sliver of HP. We're gonna
Shadow, it's gonna go down, isn't it? It's the Shadow.
see. Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, probably fainting with a move on Dragonite side. And but still, we need to be careful with the Wormadam being quite a bulky mon. I think it's on the French pocket with Mandibuzz still in the back.
Yeah, you don't see the. It's a long way for that Wormadam to get rid of the charge move now, isn't it? And Mandy's going to get there, isn't it? Yeah.
No, but at the end, it's pretty close because the Dragonite is very close to have a move. Here, the Wormadam 2, maybe a Bug Buzz a neutral Bug Buzz could have been enough. But yeah, very interesting game. Sad that we could not see with both point of views, but
given how much trouble Dexipay had with the Mandibuzz, and the fact that the French player only has one dragon, I think we see a Lantern here from Dexipay. Knowing the Mandibuzz's air / Lantern becomes a really, really hard. Like, it's a hard counter anyway. It's not a small play. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And it goes already with the second matchup, which I think is not that bad if the Escavalier can bait and then land the Mega Horn on CMB. But for sure, the French player is investing his first shield at the beginning.
It's a very brave bait to go for if you're going to go for it. Yeah, I think that's how I'd play. I think I'd go for the Mega Horn and then possibly switch out, save a bit of energy for later.
Yep, and unfortunately, the neutral Mega Horn is shielded by the Chilean player, and yeah, the French is managing to have a second one. Is he gonna invest his second shield already? Yes,
yeah,
protecting his Mandibuzz.
Yeah, it does so much damage. Like, and there's not much when you see. We showed the French player showed Vigoroth and Mandibuzz in the first game as well. Their charge moves aren't particularly powerful. Like, Mega Horn is the move to shield, right? So I think a smart play from Dexipay.
And to be honest, I would expect a complete same situation with Mandibuzz tanking those moves and then Vigoroth aggressively switching when the Mandibuzz is going to be close to dry on energy. And yeah, the French player was not spending energy neither.
No, it's really smart. If you can load both your mons with energy, that's going to put you in a really strong position going into the last. Last matchup.
That's a huge farm down. He's really greedy, but to be honest, I think it also makes sense. Yeah, but a little bit risky maybe if the Lantern is water gun, and if there's the Wormadam too, maybe the fast move pressure and the bulk of the 2 months could be enough for Vigoroth, but it's Dragonair.
And so you'll get the two foul players will do about 40% each, maybe, just under. Yeah. So that puts the Vigoroth in a really nice place again to, because he's going to get Vigoroth is going to get to the body slam first, so he can choose to, if he switches now, he can choose to. There we go. Good play from the opponent to switch immediately.
Dragonite is way better as he resists the counters from Vigoroth. Again, the Dragonite who sends, I think, a Dragon Claw. And we saw it already. He barely does not get to a second move. So for sure the Vigoroth is gonna have a body slam already ready for Dragonair. So is the Chilean player gonna reach a charge move? That's the only way of winning, but nah, he won't survive this body slam.
Yeah. Dragonite. Dragonite is one of I love using Dragonite greatly when it has the chance to be used. Like it's not very bulky, but it's often bulky enough. Like with the great resistances it has, it's often bulky enough to do what you need it to do. It's not Altaria, but it can still do a job.
No, for sure, complete different style. One is more raw power, the other one is more bulky. But Decoupage played the same months, but on different order. And yeah, it was the same for the French. And now we have a mirror Vigoroth, so very interesting who is going to win the CMP, or maybe someone is going to try a catch.
Try to catch on the Mandibuzz, perhaps. Okay. Well, the French players are ahead on energy now, which is kind of nice. But we don't necessarily know who wins CMP anymore. So,
yeah, slight lag, but fortunately no issue with fertile or very low damages. And yeah, is someone gonna catch, or are they gonna play?
Do you
for the
switch out the
CMP?
big?
No.
But you were saying about this this French player likes energy. Oh, okay. So he went for the counter, so he's fainted the Vigoroth. So okay.
Yeah, usually
Oh.
he likes to be with shield and energy advantage. Here replaced the alignment. I think it was their very good choice, because as you mentioned, the Lantern is a very good matchup against the Mandibuzz. So he's very happy to have the Dragonair on it.
Yeah, maybe it was sort of maybe felt the same way that I was feeling after game one. But the Lantern, he's given his opponent so much trouble with Mandibuzz. The Lantern has to come, maybe taking a bit of a risk there, and one that paid off.
Yeah, but be careful. Dragonair with both shields is gonna do a lot of work. Question is, does he prefer to shield the body slam, a foul play, or a move from Dragonair? And interesting is, with the move update, we don't know. The opponent doesn't know if there's body slam on Dragonair, or if there's something like Dragon Pulse or something.
But I think he had to shield the first one because he doesn't want to be too low to the point where the French Dragonair can farm him down. So I think he shields this.
For sure. For sure. And the clock is not there for the French, so it's going to be a little bit of good farm down for the Chilean player. And yeah, it's going to be clutch also with the Dragon Breath are doing so much. We love in France Shadow Dragonair. We played it a lot in different metas. And yeah, the Lantern is joining.
It's better to go for two surfs, I would have thought. Okay.
Yeah, but here I think that the French can manage energy properly. He does not have two body slams, but he's very close to have it, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna KO. I think body slam is a very good addition for Dragonair, and in the next, wow, very nice played from Dex, who wins 3-0. So we were a little bit disadvantaged, but very nice 3-0.
I wonder whether double surf might have been the play there. I put him low enough to the point where if he could sneak one Dragon Breath through in the end, it might have changed. I don't know. But yeah, close games for sure.
Yeah, he probably would have incitated Dex B to throw earlier, and maybe those. To be honest, I count with sound, so it's always difficult for me to count without sound. But maybe you're right with the two surfs. Maybe he's incitating the French to drop his energy earlier, and maybe he can outpace then to a body slam or an aqua tail. But yeah, maybe he was afraid about the Shadow Dragon Breath, were really oppressive.
Yes, good point also, yeah. So Dexby's up again, really Gen 10, and we see again a very similar team, but with the Flygon this time.
Yeah.
No Dragonair though, which is interesting.
Yeah, Flygon will replace Dragonair, which does not change that much. I think it depends on the moveset of the Flygon, which I assume is Dragon Tail, but maybe not. Yeah, I think Dragonair is basically a little bit better or safer against Dexby's team. But yeah, we probably gonna see similar game plan from Dexby as yeah, maybe he's a little bit more afraid with his Cavalier if it's a mudshot flagon. I don't know.
Yeah, Mudshot Flygon doesn't do a huge deal here. I don't think. Given that there is the Dragonair on the other team that can farm him down, I think I think you're right. I think it's Dragon Tail here, just because yes, you've got Dragon Claw that you can get to quickly versus Dragonair, but um, if you've got Mudshot and you come up against the Dragonair can farm you down very, very quickly and come out with a load of energy, throwing body slams at everything else, and all of a sudden you're on the back foot. So I expect Dragon Tail here.
Yeah, I guess we are gonna see. And for those who are not familiar with Grymbreaker format, we are four pairs facing each other. So here we do not have information if Willie Jen already played against the French who is paired with Dexby. So maybe he has already information on the moveset and things like this. Because you can change your move sets for a matchup. For example, France versus Chile is a matchup, but Willie Jen cannot have moves changed between Dexby and the other French in the pair.
Okay, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, and
Let me
great. This
see.
time we have both point of views and two Pokemons with different playstyles, as the French has a very aggressive mon, and the Chilean has a very bulky mon. So really different styles.
We see S slash on the match again, just to be a mirror match, knowing that the Lantern is going to be beating it anyway. So it's a nice call, I think.
Yeah, and we've seen the French who tried to catch the move on Lantern, and now it's Willigen, which is aggressively switching to Vigoroth, and quite quickly Dex comes with Lantern, which is Water Gun, not Spark.
Yeah, Watergun perhaps with one eye on taking on the Flygon, perhaps just makes it a little bit of a stronger matchup. We saw Dexby didn't use the Lantern versus the previous opponent, and maybe that was a contributing factor to why.
And for this matchup, I think it's pretty good because the Water Gun are applying some pressure, and Dex, who already was behind on shields, will be happy to have this Vigoroth quite lower in health and maybe in range for a good farm down. Wow, nice surf with few HP, which is really clutch. And there we're gonna see if the Chilean is saving his Vigoroth, and the answer is no.
Oh,
Guys with very few HP and reaches a body slam, but again, it's a slight energy advantage for the next French Pokemons who are gonna join.
yeah, and getting a one Dragon Breath lead can be a big advantage because the other dragons also have moves that come off at the same time, right? So I know in this instance the Dragonair had plenty of energy anyway, but that Dexby didn't know that the opponent doesn't have a dragon in the back like we do. So one Dragon Breath, even though it's only 3 energy, can on occasion be a huge lead.
Wow, and this Dragonair Shadow is making a little bit more damages than I would have imagined with the Aqua Tails. And Willigen, who is not shielding the second one, so now his both Mons are quite low on HP, but yeah, it's okay because they are not that fragile. And again, Dexby, which aggressively switching in his Vigoroth.
Yeah, the very bulky modes on Willie Jen's teams, but Vigoroth gets those body slams off so fast, and with it being stab as well, they do a lot of damage. So, and he probably shouldn't have absorbed this energy, perhaps. No.
Yeah, but for sure, what is for certain, and it's obvious with at this level of the competition with those players, the timing are really great. And here, Vigoroth, I think, is gonna be able to overfarm quite a lot. And yeah, I think it's gonna be good for the French, which goes directly for the full farm down, and the dry Wormadam is gonna take a lot of body slams. Maybe he survives the first one barely, but for sure it does not survive two of them.
Yeah, really, really strong. Dexby had obviously been counting throughout the game, knowing there was no risk of the Mandibles getting the charge move off there. So, really, really strong play in game one.
And Dexby going 4-0. I mean, we should stop the count right now. I think he is our boy in France at so many occasions in the World Official Championships, or they are in the Grymbreakers. And as I mentioned, I think that the Vigoroth with energy is very strong against the both Chilean teams we saw at the moment. But yeah, maybe Willie Jen will find some solutions.
Well, it looks like we're going to see the same line from both players. I know it's the Weathername's been replaced by Dragonites for Willie Chen. Interesting that Dexby's chosen to switch out of the mirror this time and save the Vigoroth for later.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to play a lot on his Vigoroth, having it aligned on the opponent Vigoroth, it's not that good because it's too neutral. And maybe he has bad IVs and he knows the results of the CMP. We've seen, I think he lost the CMP on the previous opponent, and now the Shadow Dragonite is gonna farm some energy. Is he gonna reach the Thunder? Okay, he's baiting with Surf, which is not very useful, I think, because he's not gonna get a second move. But yeah, you know, it's a little bit of flex also, and saying I know you're gonna shield. I'm in your mind, so yeah.
True. And now this is a bad place for Dexby to be in, because Dragonite has got a huge energy advantage on the Dragonair, and Vigoroth's counters are resisted. This is a tough spot to be in for Dexby.
Very difficult. He's gonna be forced to use both his shields, but at least the Shadow Dragon Breath are making this Dragonite close to fainting. But wow.
Do you think he switches here and farms down with Vigoroth?
No, I think he continues with the Dragon Breath and hopes for a good future, but there's Mandibuzz in the back plus a shield, so I'm pretty sure this energy is going to be absorbed quite well. Let's see how the Chilean players decides to play, and that's his choice too.
Yeah, good timing again, as you were mentioning, not letting Mandibuzz sneak another air slash through.
Yeah, and this time the Chilean is aggressively switching in his Vigoroth. The Body Slam is gonna be chunking a lot. Is he gonna reach a second one? That's the question.
Gonna be close. No, he's not gonna get there, is he? No. The Vigoroth's got some energy also, which is really nice here.
Yeah, so roll to Mandibuzz to close this game for the Chilean player. Is he gonna shield? Yes, this Body Slam. So now it's gonna be maybe the French he doesn't have any clock to try any catch. So good situation where the Mandibuzz can overfarm. I think the timing could have been better, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna outpace the Dragonair.
Yeah, because the Dragonair's gonna need two moves here. Like, I don't think the one Body Slam is gonna kill, is it?
I'm not sure anymore. Have you seen the damages of the Dragon Breath? Body Slam is a very good move, not stabbed, but is it gonna be enough? Barely not. Oh my god, so close.
Never
Thinking about timings, maybe one Dragon Breath would have made the difference there. Or very close. Well played from Chilean player.
Yes, fantastic set.
Oh, that's the kind of game you are always at the end thinking, oh my god, one turn I could have done this or this completely differently. And we know in this competition it's very often at the end it's 25-23 or 26-22. So I hope this game won't be decisive at the end. But yeah, that's how it is with all the sports or all the activities. When high level, it's always microseconds.
Yeah, sure. And then, so that's interesting. That's typically Lantern isn't too bad versus Dragonite, but with it being Water Gun, that's a huge disadvantage.
Oh, and Dragonite going for the superpower, even if it's neutral, I'm pretty sure it's gonna check a lot. This Mandibuzz, boom, incredible. That's also a very good addition to Dragonite.
Yes, huge addition, yeah. And knowing you can do it and switch out as well is really nice.
It's not changing that much for Open Great League, but for Sylph metas next season, it's gonna be huge.
Yes, like when you think back to Guardian Cup, perhaps the meta team didn't ban Dragonite. Maybe they would have if it had had superpower back then.
Maybe, and here we've seen the Chilean player very close to completely farm down this Mandibuzz, but knowing the counts perfectly, he froze on CMP because the Mandibuzz was going to reach a move just before fainting, and the Vigorous, going to the Bulldoze and baiting with the Body Slam. Is the French gonna shield? Yes, the threat
Yes.
of Bulldoze was a little bit too much, I think.
Yes. Does he know? He lets this one through and goes for the farm down, and then even when the Dragonite comes in, he'll have the Thunderbolt ready to threaten it, to threaten the Dragonite and get that shield back.
Ooh, he's going for the farm.
If he can get the farm, yes,
Wow.
yes.
That was risky because if the Vigoroth was reaching another Body Slam, it was completely over already, and now the Lantern has quite a lot of energy.
Oh, it's a big bait. Although it's not too bad. 2 serves from here will probably kill the Dragonite, so it's not bad. But
last second shield, he was really close to call the bait. But here, if the counting is as good as we mentioned, he knows it's a surf, but he goes for the shield. I mean, to be honest, the Dragonite is anyway gonna do a lot of damage to the last Pokemon, and he goes for the Dragon Glow, immediately shielded by the French player.
He doesn't want to risk another superpower coming through. That is for sure. But Wormadam in the zeros up against Vigoroth, you fancy the Wormadam here. Bulldoze is such a weak move that Body Slam is still the way to go, and still resisted. So with this much health left on the Vigoroth, Wormadam only needs the 1 charge move to close the game out.
Yeah, that's a pity when you are a charge move and you are not used by your battler, even if the other one is resisted. It's like you are subtitle on soccer and your mate is heal or injured and still you don't play. That's a shame. It really means you are bad.
Yes.
I know this feeling.
But Vigoroth is such a good Pokemon. It can't have the better, it can't have Earthquake. It can't have Dynamic Punch. It's just it would be too good. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And Matthew, maybe I should not have said that Dexby was on a 4-0 run, because now he lost 2 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but 4-2 is still. If everybody in your team wins 4-2, you're happy with that. So it's got to be pleased with that if you're Dexby here, even losing the last 2.
Sure, very good performance, and Willie Jen who find the way through Dexby team finally. I think it was a lot of Dragonite being shielded, and I think he played Vigoroth way more than his Chilean mate, and probably it made a good difference.
Yes, yeah, and more power from the Dragonites than the Dragonair. If you know you're not going to play 2 dragons, then you don't need to bring 2 dragons. So fancying the Dragonite more than the Dragonair, having that extra bit of power might have also helped.
And we still don't know the fast move of this Flygon at the end.
It's true. We've
not seen it at all.
Oh, Taton, go on. I'll let you pronounce that one for me.
Tonton Batters. Tonton means uncle. It's a nice way, familiar way to speak about your uncle. And Batters is a machine, to cut the heat from the fields. And,
okay. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe his nickname is linked to his favorite mons being Excadrill. But very good French player. Very known for being one of the best Master League specialists in faction. And,
okay. He has one of my favorite Pokemon in Hisuian Quillfish. I love that Pokemon. I think it's fantastic. The moveset variation it has is really valuable for Grymbreakers. Not many. I don't think any of the other dark poisons, other than Overquill, can choose between Poison Jab or Poison Sting. So Hisuian Quillfish can go either way. It's got Aqua Tail, Ice Beam, Crunch, Sludge Bomb. Has it got Sludge Bomb? It's definitely got Shadow Ball. It's got a load of options. and it makes it such a versatile Pokemon in formats like this.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's a little bit less squishy than the regular version, but very dynamic. And as you said, I mean, we can register the team and then adapt the movesets in accordance to your two opponents. So this is something which, when Gymbreaker is linked to the Sylph meta, sometimes we see a little bit of shift in the meta for Gymbreakers because these mons, very flexible in the movesets, are a little bit more used during the Gymbreakers because they have this faculty of you can adapt to your opponents.
Yeah, and I think if I was Tonton here, I think if I was looking to use Quillfish, I'd be preferring the Poison Jab here, just because of the bulk that's there on the Steps side with Lantern and Mandibuzz. The opportunity to farm something down might be really important, and of course you'll be able to keep up the damage versus that Dragonite as well, which is also a big threat, as we saw in the last set. Couple of new mons also on Step's side with the Sableye. Interesting Pokemon to bring. Doesn't necessarily have a great matchup with Vigoroth. Yeah, it's kind of in Vigoroth's favour if I remember correctly. But the return does a lot to Mandibuzz as well. So perhaps Mandibuzz and Vigoroth.
I'm pretty sure Sableye does not have a huge play there, and the Quillfish maybe is one of the main reasons why. But if I'm not mistaken, all the Chilean teams we've seen right now had the 5 same mons. If we remove Sableye, then it was Dragonair, and then it was Flygon. So maybe they found a good recipe and they shared. That's how it should be in a good team. So yeah, Chilean are. Yep.
Let's see how it goes. So we shouldn't be expecting to see the Sableye then. If the Chileans have got the good recipe. A good lead for the French though.
No, not a good lead for the French, and we've not seen the fast move of this Lantern, but oh yeah, you're right. We are seeing the Chilean point of view. Sorry.
That's all right. No mistakes.
No mistakes.
But we see it doesn't. The lead, having a bad lead, doesn't necessarily matter here too much because Vigoroth and Mandibuzz, they have so much play. If you can gain a bit of energy, we've seen so many times already that a bit of energy goes a long way here.
For sure, but as you mentioned, it's very good lead for the French, which will probably want to keep the alignment, but maybe we'll have to throw to use a shield right now, for example. And interesting, the Mandibuzz is having a Dark Pulse and not Foul Play.
Yes, sometimes that extra little bit of power can turn win you a zero shield matchup where sometimes Foul Play can't. But,
and the Mandibuzz has been able to survive this body slam, but as mentioned, now the Chilean player has the alignment, and Totombato's aggressive switch doesn't want to be farmed down and keeping his Mandibuzz maybe for a catch later on.
It's always useful to save the low health mon if you can. I know when it could come in handy, but as long as you don't feel like giving up the switch is going to come back and hurt you, it's a nice thing to do. A bit of over farming from the Chilean player here with Wormadam. That's nice. It's going to be difficult to get to another charge move with the low amount of health on Wormadam.
Yeah. So here it's gonna so it's a Spark Lantern, so the farm down is gonna be complicated. So that's why he's throwing right now. I think the French need to have a very good back Pokemon. I'm pretty sure if he decided not to keep the switch, it's a good answer to Lantern. So maybe Escavalier with 2 shields would be really, really great for French. And
yeah, or even Dragonite or Sableye with 2 shields will take on pretty much anything, right? So it does feel like it's a good spot for the French player to be in, that's for sure.
Yep. And now we're gonna see the 2 Lanterns sparking at each other. I don't think the French is gonna try any bait. Maybe the Chilean at some point will try to have a shield with a Surf. We're gonna see maybe right now, but
Oh, tries the sack. Tries the sack. Yeah. Well, worth a try. Worth a try.
Yep. Ooh, and the Vigoroth is having a body slam with 2 HP. It's painful to see for me, but wow, very clutch for on his side.
Yeah, that's huge. That's absolutely huge.
Yeah, and the lantern is going for the surf right now because the other lantern is really has to shield
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Fantastic game. Like it came all the way down to the wire. It looked like from such a bad lead, the French player did really well to turn it around and make it that close. But then also great grit play from the Chilean player. Expected the sack to come from the Mandibas. So maybe just waiting just that little bit longer, being that little bit more patient, and in the end it paid off.
yeah, I think the Chilean players, I think to be honest, it's very often that we, the French team, are outbulked by our opponent because we really love dynamic games and things like this. And here I really feel the bulk of the Mandibus, of the Lantern, of the Wormadam are making a very good difference. And again, we see those two Pokemons, which are, I think, the two most used in the meta, and for good reasons, because they are very good, very versatile, and yeah, lot of is possible. You can play the Zero Shield, especially when you are Mandibuzz, and then farm down with one very dynamic Pokemon, as both are a Dragonite and Vigoroth. So let's see how he decides to play.
And getting even if you don't kill the Vigoroth, like you were saying earlier, if you want to get some use out of your own Vigoroth, getting the opponent's Vigoroth on lower health is really valuable, because then you are not taking many counters. You can really take advantage of everything Vigoroth has to offer.
Yeah. Question is, if the French now is shielding, are you aggressively switching in Dragonite? Yeah, we don't know because it did not happen. But still, he aggressively switches, expecting the move from his opponent. And unfortunately for the Chilean, good blind switches for Tonton Batters, as Cavalier is definitely a good answer to Vigoroth.
It's interesting that the Chilean player chose to shield and try and bait. He could have thrown the body slam, accepted that he wasn't going to get a shield, and then try and farm down with Dragonite and two shield with Dragonite for in the back. But that might have cost him here. Going the shield down is tough.
And very interesting, Tonton Batters calling the bait and switching to Lantern, but Lantern with Spark is doing no damages, so he's not gonna go out of this matchup with a lot of energy, so he still has shield, but yeah, maybe a deep read from the French player, and yeah, obviously, two last months are flying Pokemon.
Yes, and having Spark over Water Gun makes the Dragonite matchup so much better. But those Dragon Breaths do a lot of damage. Oh, we see him try the sack.
Yes,
Oh.
the catch was very close to happen, and now it's a call for the bait. It's a bait, very ballsy from the French player, and it passes. So he probably gonna shield right now, but the Chilean player still have a possibility to catch. Is he gonna? It's a mind game now. Is he gonna throw immediately or not? Oh no! I definitely should no more call things which are against France, because yeah, so Tonton undercharges, but unfortunately the Dragonite, I think, is very close to a move. Oh, he's not throwing, probably a drill run, but Dragonite is so squishy.
No. Yeah, I think Megalon just about kills from that. So
Tonton was really in the driver's seat in this match for once. And wow, very nice catch from his opponent, Step Z, who made a really, really nice catch. And yeah, as I'm not counting perfectly, I don't know if he sent directly, if he went +1. very complicated against the one turn fast move to make a small pause and see is he switching, is he not? So very
Yes.
rough.
We've all been there. We've all been caught like that, and
Yes.
it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Yeah, but he tried it. I'm glad it worked out for the children play. He tried it game 1 and it didn't work, and he got it game 2. So
Oh, and for
the
the
French player
third
tried
game,
it
it's
game
a
1.
pretty good lead for the Chilean player, and safe switch Vigoroth answered by Sableye. I was really not sure to see Sableye in this matchup, but now it's a very good choice.
Got power jump for the
On a
Mandibus.
purified Sableye.
Yes, really smart. I like that. I run a purified Golbat with Shadow Ball just to try and see if I can bait someone out. But Power Gem really targeted for that Mandibus.
Yeah, but if
Maybe
it's an XL Sableye, it's a choice which is way more expensive, but very clever for
true.
sure. Yeah, so the Chilean player right now, which is really well in the driver's seat, as he has a very good lead and a pretty good answer to Vigoroth.
He can choose to take the shield advantage here and let this go down if he wants.
Decides to fight a little bit for the alignment.
So he's obviously really valuing that strong lead, isn't he? If he's gonna take the shield there.
Oh, and throwing the alignment by aggressively switching. To be honest, Mandibuzz against regular Dragonair, I think is better than against the Shadow one. Maybe he's afraid about something in the back, and he managed a very good catch on the previous game. So yeah, why not keeping all his mons to have a lot of plays and possibilities?
Yeah, and perhaps not wanting to let the Dragonair get some energy. We know Wormadam is tanky, but the Aquatails can add up. And that defense drop is big because look how much damage those bug bites are doing now. That's huge.
Yeah, very nice timing, throwing the move right before Step Z as his charge move, but he resisted. Oh, and Learn Turn is gonna catch this. I mean, for sure, you prefer to catch on a mon with more HP and defense, and yeah,
The
since
double
the
resisted,
yeah,
double resisted Iron Head. That's a beautiful catch. That's really nice. And with Mandibuzz in the back, it's gonna be game here.
wow, and yeah, it's really a mind game. Both players want to say, yeah, I can catch too, but I think this catch was really risky because if you're not catching the serve, then two electric type moves probably you take in your face. But yeah, Mondibuzz has still a shield to be protected if necessary. And yeah, I'm afraid the Chilean player is probably ahead in this match. Is he gonna protect Mandibuzz or Sableye? I think he probably can do both.
I was expecting the shield on the Mandibuzz, to be honest, but
Here there's a risk of a huge farm down. Oh, and the French is a little bit cold feet. So is not going to the end. But yeah, I have the feeling he could have gone there to the full farm down. Yeah, and if he was doing it, he had two moves and the Sableye was basically KO.
yeah, it would have been a bold call.
Oh, and the Dragonair who had a move, so very nice combo play by the French, who is finally gonna take this match.
It's really interesting. We see the lanterns both have spark in this game, and we've seen Watergun before, and like they play as two very different mons with the different moves. Like it was really noticeable in that set that both players were throwing bursts at their opponents who had slithers of health left to stop them from taking a charge move themselves, and rather than being able to farm with Watergun. It's two very different mons. That's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Personally, I prefer Spark because it made it way more flexible. But yeah, I'm pretty sure in neutral matchups, the Watergun one is probably very good at losing the 0-1 scenarios and then having the other Pokemon from the opponent, let's say, dry and in a good range of farm down. So yeah, and we are tied 9-9 for both countries.
Nine. Any can go anywhere from here, right? It's been close throughout.
Yeah,
Wow, look at that team.
yeah, man. You are a native English speaker. You need to tell me the name of this green box because I have no idea. Even in French, I'm not sure how we
No, that one is Charger Bug. I think that was
charge a
Charger
bug.
Bug.
Okay.
Charger Bug. Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, okay. I've been told that's correct. Put me on the spot for some knowledge there.
No mistakes.
No mistakes. Yeah, yeah. That's an Empoleon. That is. Yeah, no mistakes. Yeah, double bug electric is really interesting, and I think Charger Bug's moveset is Spark, X Scissor, and Discharge. Although it can also run Bug Bite, I believe.
If you say so, to be honest, I have to trust you because I have no freaking idea. Maybe I caught 4 of them, but yeah. And again, very interesting. Nacho Alic BK. I'm gonna say Nacho.
Yeah, that's
He,
it.
he has the same team as his mates, exactly the same team as the very first match we saw. And really, the Chile, they took those 5 months and say, guys, the sixth, you can say whatever you prefer, whatever you like. But yeah, as we've seen, it's and that's interesting because they can discuss each other, the strength of the team, and what is going well for them. And you share also the records of the battles. So each player is gaining experience with this team anytime there's one of these mate is playing. So I think it's very interesting.
The French team here is the French players team is really quite strong against Vigorov. I wonder, and having double elect, I wonder whether we see a change of pace from the Chilean teams, or whether they go with double dragons and just go for that power and just try and dragon breath through, because we know that the Escavalier as a dragon resist isn't necessarily reliable, especially when Dragonite is resisting counters, resisting Mega Horns, and double resisting drill runs. The double dragons look really strong.
The Dragonair is probably gonna be interesting, so I think he's happy to have it better than Sableye against those bugs. But
sure.
yeah, as you mentioned, GS will probably. I mean, I have the feeling Nacho requires more alignment than GS probably needs, which is always something a situation you would like to be in.
Yes.
But yeah, and again, it will also be linked to this Flagon fast move. And to be honest, I'm not very familiar with the Flagons matchups. But we will.
If Geheza can keep Galvantula away from Dragonair, Galvantula looks really strong there. And to be honest, even if Galvantula does end up with strong, a lunge debuff on the Dragonair makes it a lot less threatening for the next thing to come and farm, which could be the Escavalier, could be the Vigorov, could be another dragon. That Galvantula looks really strong.
So he plays it a lot, so I'm not that afraid. But Galvantula is very special. You need to play it a specific way, and as is squishy, 4-turn moves. I think the dragons are gonna be a little bit a pain in the ass for this, because 1-turn move, very lot of fast move pressure. But we will see.
Yeah, let's get going.
Don't be surprised. I will say the green box if we have this Pokemon who joins.
So we see this is a nice spot for Nacho to be in, because he can either win the zeros or take a shield, and then we see the double dragon in the back for him as well, which we were saying is going to be strong. So this is really nice for Nacho here.
Yes, and Bug Bite again. I'm pretty sure all the one that we'll see will be Bug Bite. So he goes for the Bug Buzz, and yeah, as you mentioned, probably wins the 0 right now if it's not shielded, or the Vigoroth survives with 1 HP. So I would see a direct switch, but no, he tries to send a
He's
move.
gonna make it. He's gonna make it.
Yes, barely,
Yeah.
but very
Really
nice
good
for him.
call.
Yes.
Really good call. So now you probably go Dragonite here, don't you? And then you save the Dragonair for potential electric. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I think JS, he needs to put pressure on the second shield, so maybe he goes for a second Dragon Claw, and no, he decided to switch on Flygon, who has Dragon Tail. Whoa, the Dragon Tails are, whoa, very good timing on Nacho, but he was very close to take this last Dragon Tail and being denied of this Dragon.
It was brave. It was brave, but he got it. He got it right.
Yeah, even though I would have loved for France, I was a little bit panicked for him. And we see the dragons are really oppressive in this game. So maybe that's why Ilya is not happy that French took the dragons. But yeah, we can see the damages are really incredible.
Yes, the dragon tail doesn't quite charge fast enough to get another move, and then the body slam will finish off here. That's kind of what we expected, right? The double dragons from the Chileans.
Yes.
Double dragons from the French side as well was kind of interesting. I wouldn't necessarily have guessed that, but yeah. And now we know that the Flygons move as well. It kind of has to be Dragon Tail, actually, really.
The overall situation is tricky because you need to shield something, but the fast move pressure is so intense. It's really a lot about who is going to be able to farm, and this matchup is going to be very fast. But
now,
do we
dip to Wormadam?
If they do not shield, it's a coin flip, if I'm not mistaken, and that's really a pity for the French player because
that's huge. That's huge.
It's not IV dependent. It's really just luck, and yeah, Dragon Claw Shadow is not something you can take lightly neither. So yeah, huge start for the Chilean player.
Although the Chilean player doesn't have a good answer here. I think you go Dragonair and try and farm. Oh no, okay.
Yeah, between the two matches, I was thinking Escavalier was not that bad, but yeah, now that the Dragonite is no more there, it could be interesting. But yeah, Wormadam is so tanky, he can. Oh no, that's a shame. If he had a shield on this bait, it was amazing. But now revealing the moveset, but maybe Nacho was aware of. Yeah, it's really sad.
But it's a good call from GS though, because it's like you were saying, you've got to shield something, and knowing that's it's a good time to throw out an acid spray.
Yeah,
he gets one there. So that's.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Galv, which is not that bad, but doesn't want to see Dragonair, and especially with shields up, with shields down, it was maybe, or at least for the Chilean, it would have been better. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Dragon Breath will be too oppressive.
Yeah, and he's still 1 volt switch away from the second lunge, I believe. So he's not going to get there. 2 volt switches, there we go. I'm not counting either.
That's not the hardest Pokemon to count and time against, because always 3, and 4 turns is, yeah, it's.
Bomb down is nice for the double dragon. The double dragon and Wormadam working again. No reason to change it up on Nacho's side. It's such a strong strategy. Although knowing that that Escavalier is going to give him difficulty, maybe he plays the dragon out a bit more cautiously in game 3.
And you know, I was mentioning how French people often have non-bulky teams, and we see here the difference between Dexby's team and GS team, because here he cannot have Vigoroth the same way as Dexby had. Okay, yes. Again, Vigoroth against Wormadam, and switch on the Flygon for the French, but yeah, the Wormadam is very happy to resist those Dragon Tails.
Yes, quite happy. And we see the bug bites do more damage than I was expecting it to. You're so used to seeing confusion on Wormadam as a Sylph player. You perhaps don't give Wormadam credit for the damage output it can do, because with Stab Bug Bite, it adds up.
And very good shield, because the Flygon is running the Legacy Stone Age, which would have probably hurt a lot, even though neutral. But yeah, this Wormadam is making a huge work for the Chile right now, and he was really probably very happy to see this Flygon right now. And again, I would immediately save switch if I was him. But now this Dragonite is gonna farm quite a lot and threaten those dragons in the back with Dragon Claws. But for sure, he's gonna have to extend his last shield right now.
Yes, for sure. And then Dragonair comes in. Oh, nice double swap there.
Yeah.
So you have to. Do you save the shield here? And the Dragonite can farm down the Vigoroth, come out with enough energy to KO the opposing Dragonite?
Exactly. I would do exactly the same. And I was mentioning Vigoroth was not that easy to play for the French. He's actually quite happy, I think, to see it on the Dragonair right now. And okay, I would have also imagined maybe he doesn't throw, and you try to deny with one Dragon Breath, but it's always tricky.
When you're in the moment playing, it can be
okay.
tough to see those.
I think the French Dragonite has a lot of energy.
Maybe
the Chilean was a little bit fast to come back. Probably the clock is back, but for potential catch.
Oh.
The Dragonite does not survive before sending another Dragon Claw, which
is. I was expecting the double Dragon Claw there myself. I agree. I was thinking that you had the two.
Yeah,
and
really I was dreaming the clock not being available for 1 second, and the Chilean player to regret not to have waited a little bit longer. But wow, very tough matchup for GS, who has been so much under the pressure of the Dragon Breath. I mean. We see a lot of dragons. I don't know if in the previous matchups they were 2 per teams 2, so maybe he was expecting only 1, but here it was a very easy game plan for Nacho to play both his dragons with the Wormadam.
For sure. What have we got up next? It'll be GS again, so hopefully he has an easier matchup this time. But,
exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
This time there are no 2 dragons. Emilio, who replaced the Sableye or the Dragonair by Escavalier or V-Zones. And
that's really helpful. That's really helpful for GS. Though.
Yeah, because Escav is not amazing against this team. I have no clue if this little green box is good at all.
No, it's really not. It's it's really not. It's kind of, it doesn't farm with Volt Switch. It's bug bite is interesting, but it's discharge and X-Scissor. I think it's a flex. GS is never going to use it. I'd be shocked, right? It's a weird skill.
French or crazy. I would never say something like, a French will never do this, because he can do it.
Well, let's see. I hope he brings it. But let's see.
Yeah.
There's no reason to bring it in instead of Galvantula.
Okay, Lantern. I'm surprised. To be honest, I think Mandy plus Dragonite plus Wormadam was really safe, but probably a good thing for French.
See how much the fault does.
And I told you should not say he did not bring it. He brought it for sure. But it's a very good thing. We're gonna be able to discover this thing and see the damages it can deal, the damage it can take, and to be honest, it already made a few damages.
This is a bold bait. You'll have another one surely here now. So he shields and goes for the farm down, perhaps? I don't know. that was a bold bait. Choose it, okay.
Barely taking out this Mandibuzz. So Mandibuzz is not the most attack-weighted Pokemon by far in the Great League, but I think this little green box is taking damages okay. I think.
And then we see, the Water Gun Lantern is really difficult. It doesn't like facing Dragonite at all. Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
extremely interesting, as you said, because I was not expecting the shield from the lantern, so I guess it's interesting. But yeah, honestly, the shields are you 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 should not in this meta. I think keep shields too much. And look at the water guns is really applying a lot of pressure on these Vigoroths.
Knows he can chew another body slam. That Lantern's such a bulky Pokemon. Saving a charge move in the back. I don't necessarily think that Surf's going to be particularly useful against the Dragonite, but maybe if it comes out on low health, it'll make the difference. And farming down the Vigoroth of Dragonite will help him get to double Dragon Claw. So
But I'm not sure that this Dragonite can really farm down the Vigoroth that much. I mean, the body slams are really spammed really quickly by the little white monkey, and yeah.
Of course, there's no shield left. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of damage, isn't it?
Yeah, and GS2 is going to take a game which is good, I think, for moral after the 3 previous games, which were really difficult. But the Lantern is really surprising me, especially with Water Gun. I'm quite surprised. Was it a little bit to have a rounded strategy against Vigoroth? Maybe, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, we saw it on the previous games. Wormadam, Mandibuzz, Dragonite.
It's really strong.
Yeah, it's strong for sure. GS has electric types, but yeah, we will see. Again, 2 dragons facing each other and hurting each other really fast. Wow, 12 turns in the game and both mons are already almost KO.
Dragonite winning CMP there as it should, and we get a nice farm down for Charger Bug. Okay.
Yeah, little boy, you need to show us your skill and how strong you are.
And so he's good at his. Oh, we got confusion
this
on
time
one of that.
Confusion, yes.
That's interesting. So discharge will do 35%, maybe 40% perhaps.
I would say maybe a little bit less. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Wormadam is quite bulky, but I think it means this little green box is quite well rounded. I think stat wise, I would say, because it's not squishy, it's not too attack weighted.
Certainly a lot bulkier than Galvantula, that is for sure. There are a lot of things that are a lot bulkier than Galvantula, so that's
sure.
But then we end up in this bad matchup again. So.
Yeah, so this is for sure for the French, if I'm not totally crazy, as the water guns are. I mean, can you have 3 surfs? Wow, but still it's not enough. And no, you are outpaced by the Dragon Claws anyway.
Yeah, Emilio's got to stop. He's got to stop bringing that lantern. It's doing him no favors here. It's doing them no favors.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the really has to think it's a very good idea. I guess he's afraid of Vigoroth. I mean, for me there are no other explanations.
Yeah, I would. And it's neutral against Vigoroth, right? It's not even like it's a particularly good Vigoroth class.
No, but if you are afraid of the Vigoroth and you want, I don't know, yeah.
I just don't see it at all. I don't see it at all.
It's true. I mean, the other ones are better against Vigoroth.
Yeah.
I don't. But you can continue like this, Emilio. It's points for. I'm no journalist. I'm completely biased. So please continue to bring your lantern.
was probably. Oh, there we go. Charger book again. Excellent.
Oh, and this time we see the line of three I would have expected since the beginning from the Chilean player. And yeah, you saw this little green box. We see finally a lot, and it's not incredible, but it's not bad neither.
Yeah, it's kind of it's holding its own in these. It's just about doing what it needs to do. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. That did a lot of damage.
And barely getting discharge here, probably. So which is quite good. But again, the Shadow Dragonite with energy advantage is gonna be threatening a lot the Pokemon on GS side, and again the Dragon Tails and the Dragon Breath dealing huge damages. And are we gonna see a shield? I would say yes.
Yes.
Even though the Dragonite is not gonna live with. Okay, he's banking a move and farming a little bit of energy on Vigoroth. So I kind of like the play.
Yes, yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. And yeah, because that Dragonclaw is going to hit everything. Like even a Scavalier is we've seen it does a nice chunk.
Yeah.
So if that's what he had in the back, then it would have been useful potentially. And especially when you're playing at neutral matchups like this, having a move bank can be really handy.
For sure. But I'm a little bit afraid for the French that maybe this Wormadam with a shield is maybe a little bit too healthy. So I would probably imagine the shield be kept for him. Okay, no, the Mandibuzz is protected right now. And yeah, the French would love to have his clock ready to try to catch, but I'm pretty sure it's not the case. And is he gonna survive this foul play? I would say barely yes, but can he farm down afterwards? Probably not. And anyway, the Chilean is not letting him do it. Both players very aggressive, as in this meta you don't want to be farmed down.
Yeah. Although I'm surprised through the Dragonclaw that he perhaps could have kept going and hit a
superpower.
Superpower, yeah.
Yeah. Superpower assume he has, even if we have not seen it. And the Vigoroth here is spending his energy and probably gonna faint to one air slash without, two. Very close, but again, I'm pretty sure Mandibuzz Dragonite Wormadam was the right idea to have since the beginning for Chile, who now leads 13-11 against France.
And it's like you say.
Yep.
Okay, so I believe that's me done for the day.
Actually, can they do one match at least together? Because I had a lot of phone calls I would like to see.
Okay, yeah, I can hold on for one more match if Ilya wants to join me.
Maybe technically it was not scheduled.
Yeah, no, I can hold on for one more match if Ilya wants to jump in before I head off.
Let's do this. As long as Matthew's still here, we can do that easily.
Yeah,
I can get a short break between the massive sessions. Sounds very good.
Let's do it. I can squeeze another game in for sure. Some difficulties for Fish here on the back end. I'm sure he's thanking us. So OTK. See, Noctowl. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Noctowl was something that wasn't too common, but I've seen a good couple times.
I suppose it's having that nice neutral play all around, apart from against other lanterns. But since it's got Shadow Ball now, it's at least got a hit to get off there.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of like Mandibuzz. It's got that bulk to take on most things. It doesn't mind Dragon Breath much. Like it can absorb some Dragon Breath damage.
I mean, definitely we've seen some of those mounts. We've seen a lot like Vigoroth, Shadow Denied, and things like this. They are raw power machines, and they need to be with mounts which are bulkier and which are less requiring shields, and that will basically do the background work to make it good farm downs for those machines. So I like to see on the French side this Noctowl and this Mandibuzz and this Lantern that can be really good ally to this Escavalier or this Dragonair. I think we've seen a lot of Escavalier on the French side teams, but it seems like it's not that strong against these 5 Pokemon score that are the Chilean are bringing every time.
What do you think to this 5 Pokemon core, Ilya? What do you think to that? Is it kind of what you expected, or is it a little bit dull, or what do you think?
I feel like especially the Mandibuzz here on OTK's side is going to be really good, especially if it is a Water Gun Lantern, which I'm not sure we have seen yet, have we?
I don't believe.
Yes,
Oh, it is.
he brought it a couple of times
Yes.
before, and we were surprised because we were not
Yes.
understanding that much why. So yeah, it's a Water Gun one.
It is Water Gun. Okay, so that is definitely really good for the Mandibuzz, as just like in Lunar Cup, where I also, for example, ran Lantern. While it technically has a very good matchup type-wise, with Water Gun, it's not actually that amazing a matchup against Snarl Mandibuzz due to the spamminess. Mandibuzz can very easily flip that actually, and therefore Mandibuzz looks like a very, very safe swap here.
If he goes with the Snarl Mandibuzz on it.
That is
We've
correct.
seen
That
a
is
lot of
correct.
Air Slash, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people have opted to go for Air Slash, especially before the move update, but ever since the move update, with how common Lantern has gotten, Snarl has been getting more popular.
Okay.
Well, do you wanna take a quick break, Nico, and Ilya and
Yeah,
I
but
will go through this?
I thought maybe Ilya would take the place on the screen, but it's okay if we can do without. I can just mute myself and I'm still there
do that.
for
Yeah, I think it's not spontaneously doable because we just don't have the prepared.
Yep.
There we go. Oh,
Changing casters.
that's some fancy graphics we've got going on.
Yeah, that's why we needed him 100% on technique. Yes.
We don't make mistakes this way. It's
4:05. Holy shit, Fish! You really need to actually, like, I don't know, get some sleep. Friggin' Australia.
Sleep is for the weak.
Oh my god, you're not wrong.
You've got a half-hour time difference to me. That's cool. I realised that was the thing.
Yeah, I knew that India was weird like that, but I thought they were pretty much the only ones because they are 3.5 hours ahead of Germany.
Right.
But apparently, so are some parts of Australia at least.
India to Germany is only 3.5 hours difference. Wow, I would have thought it would have been more.
Yep, it's quite interesting actually. I too quite surprised about it.
I don't think I ever played an Indian player while I was in England, so yeah, I would have thought it would be much bigger. But
Fish, I know
Fish
you
are on a big
have.
time difference, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely massive. So, Fish, I know you've been to both Australian regionals last season. Are you
Yes.
planning to go to OCIC this season?
Where will that be?
We don't have a location,
Okay.
Yeah. but it's gonna be in Australia,
Oh, well then, yeah, I'd love to.
and I believe it's gonna be in February.
Excellent.
How are flights in Australia? Within Australia, is it cheap to fly internally like it is in Europe, or what's it like?
Oh, how cheap is it in Europe?
In
Oh.
Europe, it's very affordable. Like, I paid for my flights to Spain, which was 1 month prior to the flight, 200 something.
Ooh, okay. Ours are a bit more expensive. I think flight from Adelaide to Melbourne is you could probably get it for like $500. So the difference.
The question is the exchange rate as well.
Yeah, yeah. So $500 would probably be like €13 or something dumb like that.
Yeah, Yeah,
finances with Grymbreakers. That's what the people have. It's what the people have tuned in for, right? That's yeah.
So yeah, for example, we'll post very prominent professor and judge for the Play Pokemon program. He is coming to Warsaw to judge because it's literally cheaper than flying to one of the American regionals for him.
Wow. Must be nice.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, it's not nice. It's just that the American flights are even more expensive. It's
So-
not that the flights to
okay,
Warsaw are cheap.
okay.
It's just the other way around.
Right, okay. Mustn't be nice.
Like, I paid for my flights. I paid less for my flights to Seattle than some Americans did.
Mhm.
And I flew over half the planet, pretty much.
Did Play Pokemon cover your flights to Worlds?
They did cover my flights to Worlds and NAIC,
Yep.
and yeah, they cover flights to ICs and Worlds.
That's cool. When I was in, so I helped out as like not an official judge, but a consultant for the Melbourne Regionals. And because it was kind of a last minute arrangement, I had to pay my own way there, and so they paid me off with an extra box of like a booster pack, which is like not bad. That's like it's an extra $100 worth.
Yep.
That's better than a kick in the teeth.
Yeah,
And you've got a
it's
great
definitely.
draft play mat, which now is in my belonging.
Yes, that's right.
Because Fish the Absolute Goat helped my collection.
I agreed
Dude, I am
to.
so mad that Baltimore got the Giratina.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Oh, that-
it looks absolutely fucking hot.
I would have. Yeah.
I guess you now have a huge collection, Ilya, right?
I have like 15 or so playmats now, and I started off the year with 4.
Nice. Okay,
3 of
so
them are gonna hang on the wall soon.
we have a battle to get to. I'm gonna bow out here again before I fall asleep. Good luck, boys.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Are you taking this one, Nico?
But it seems like you were not capable to stay, right? No.
I've got to head
No.
off. So yeah.
Yeah, Matthew can
It's
do
good.
this one, but we just don't have a screen prepared of me and Matthew together
Okay.
because it wasn't planned to have Matthew and me together on stream.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
so if you-
So
yeah,
that's
if you-
why we only have this one.
I should
you
be
want
able
to-
to do it. It's okay.
You'll be able to do it. Okay.
If
Well,
you were
I'll buy
capable
out.
to do the other matches, it would have been great, but it's okay. I'm good.
No, well, it's been great casting with you, Nico. It's been
pleasure.
a lot of fun. And thanks to everyone who joined in, and hope you enjoyed the remainder of the games.
Bye,
Thank
Matthew.
Bye-bye,
Have a great
Matthew.
rest of the weekend.
you. You too.
Bye. Okay.
Okay,
So
so
Nico.
let's see if OTK can find a way to break this 5 Pokemon score that we've seen so much from the Chilean players.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, especially with how common some of the picks in general are. Like, as we can see here, Lantern on both teams, Ascav on both teams, Mandibuzz on both teams. Then we also have at least one Dragon on both teams, with OTK even rocking 2 of them, and each of them, or Emilio also running the very common Vigoroth, which OTK opted not to bring. However, he still has that very bulky normal type in Noctowl, as you guys mentioned before,
Yes.
which also has quite good matchups here, except for the Lantern, of course. So yeah, it's definitely going to be quite interesting matches.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Maybe a little repeat of the first ones. And we have both players leading with Mandibuzz, and
It's
we're
a
gonna see
Mandibuzz
the fast
mirror.
moves. Yeah. So we still don't know the
OTK is also
things,
running.
but yeah.
It's quite interesting that both players are opting to run Watergun Lantern here, when Spark looks so much better on paper. But I guess it makes the Flygon matchup better, and yeah.
Yeah, I also definitely prefer the Spark version with way more flexibility. I'm pretty sure the French is gonna shield there because he really needs to threaten. But yeah, those serfs are continuously shielded by the Chilean. Maybe because Dragonite's shadow is so squishy, it would still make enough damage. But yeah, now the French will have to concede alignment. Oh my God, the huge
Able
farm
to
down from
farm.
Emilio, who has 1000 energy at least. So he's really gonna threaten with that much.
Yeah, Dragonite with energy is going to town, as we could see. Like, Emilio had to shield against the Lantern because of the risk that it would be a Thunderbolt, which would absolutely get rid of the Dragonite there. Uh, Now we see a Vigoroth against the Mandibus. While the Mandibus does have a shield advantage, the Vigoroth will be able to reach Body Slam quite quickly and get either the shields or get rid of the Mandibus in roughly 2 Body Slams plus the Countess should be enough.
Yeah, I think this second foul play is really good for the French. Now he basically he needs to define really which mons he wants to rely on to beat this Dragonite in the back. Maybe he takes these body slams and he switches to Dragonite to farm a body slam. But no, he decided to stay even if the Vigoroth has 2 moves. I think it's really weird. Maybe he was attempting a huge farm down, but obviously not paying off.
You can correctly predicting here to not shield due to the Vigoroth having 2 of them ready and the shield on Dragonair being just potentially better.
Yeah, no,
Especially because Dragonair can in this way can sneak in during the body slam and save 1 potential counter worth of damage here.
no, for sure.
However,
As soon as he stays and he lets the Vigoroth has 2 body slams, for sure he cannot shield or whatever. But I think he should have switched earlier to his Dragonair and farmed the Vigoroth and threatened the Dragonite with body slam.
yeah, I
But
agree, especially with the opposing Dragonite having so much energy.
yeah,
Yeah, even a shield could not save you because that he definitely had to use it against the body slam from Vigoroth due to no matter which Pokemon in the bag, there
mm,
could have been they could have just farmed down the Dragonair in the end.
yeah, something we've seen quite a lot. I mean, the one who manages to have a huge farm down and threaten with those moves is really advantageous, and we see the Noctowl, which is really refreshing.
Yeah, it's like we said before, it's a quite neutral pick, just like Vigoroth. However, it also has that additional flying type, which in some cases is better because it's not weak to counter like Vigoroth is.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it makes it weak to Lantern and those Thunderbolts and sometimes Sparks. But also makes all of its stab moves that it's running resisted, which isn't as amazing, but it's better against some other matchups. For example, against Excadrill, which only has the neutral counters, Aerial Ace and Acid Spray if you run those, but usually the preferred moveset is Drill Run and Mega Horn, which both are at least resistant.
Yeah, and very good timing from Emilio, who forced CMP on this body slam. Very good knowledge on OTK side to know he is gonna survive it and win the zero shield. And the Vigoroth is protected by Emilio, who wants the alignment and throw another body slam. Wow, what a machine this Vigoroth.
Yeah, Vigoroth, the body spammer, absolutely going to town, reaching all the body spams he needs. But now we have this way better matchup now after the move update for Mandibus, because usually you used to run Dragon Pulse, of course, but now you kind of want Aqua Tail and Body Slam, especially in this meta, because without Aqua
Mm.
Tail you only have resistant moves against Excadrill, while Body Slam is just a strictly better Aqua Tail, so it just makes sense to run it in a lot of situations, especially against Lantern, where it's also neutral instead of resisted, and against other dragon types as well. Which makes Dragon Pulse a bit more niche, so to speak, and makes the Mandibus matchup way worse for the Dragonair, since you just don't have a nuke anymore.
Yeah, and is he gonna reach another body slam? Yes, it's pretty good for the French another time. I I think the Dragonair not being shadow made it a little bit less dynamic, and now the Dragonair has a little the Dragonite has a little bit energy advantage. But wow, again, the dragon fast moves, which are hurting a lot.
Oh, this is quite interesting actually, because those couple counters against the Flygon might have put it in farm down range, but no, not quite. Dragonite still not able to tank the Dragon Tail and endure to finish off the matchup. And OTK getting that second match.
Yes, with the forceps because it had to go through a lot of dragon tails on the dragonite. And yes, as you mentioned, the two counters were really close to make this dragon tail not registered on the dragonite if the dragon breath were enough. But luckily for France and for suspense, it's not the case. And now we have lantern against the vigoroth. So again, pretty neutral, but I guess a little bit better for Vigoroth.
Yeah, we also see that we have that double flying strategy in Emilio's backline, which makes the Escavalier quite optimal, but also not horrible, because Megahorn is an absolute nuke of a move. One of the strongest non-CD moves in the entire game, being
Yeah,
able to just take out half of a Mandibus, for example. So that if OTK manages to get the shield advantage, he will absolutely be able to just nuke everything, no matter whether it resisted or not, like Dragonite does.
yeah. Oh, and nice catch on Emilio, or maybe he wanted to snipe the energy of the lantern, but again the surf, which is shielded, and we are again gonna see a battle of dragons who are breathing at each other, and here for sure the Dragonite is a little bit advantaged with this one dragon breath he had in advance.
So, quite interesting here that OTK decides to no shield. However, as I said before, a Scavalier with a shield advantage can absolutely go to town. So perhaps this was planned by him. So he can now farm down with a Scavalier and just. Oh, he's not running Mega Horn.
No,
He's running
he
Acid
has
Spray and
acid
Drill
spray.
Run, which is quite interesting. It's not strictly worse, but it does make some matchups much harder. Especially now
Especially
that
Mandibus.
Emilio can still switch out and you don't have that nuke for it. Ode does,
Yes.
however, get the shield, the surprise acid spray. Nobody sees it coming. Now those counters do a significant amount of extra damage, correctly predicting that that Emilio would switch out very soon, and now able to debuff the Mandibus without it having the
Yeah.
chance to refresh those debuffs again.
And
Not
yes,
ideal
Cavalier
move
has
timing
two
though.
shields, but yeah, I don't know if it was a frame drop or whatever, but yeah, he launched or overtap. But yeah, definitely not good timing. And with that sliver of HP only remaining, it's gonna be costly. Yeah, two shields
Is
on
the
the French
Mandibus
side,
gonna
but
be able to
not the
take
worst.
out the Lantern? It absolutely is. Despite the
Yes.
-4
Aye,
defense,
aye, aye.
still able to take out the Lantern with those two shields remaining.
Yeah, I think it was not a bad idea to have the two shields for the Escavalier, but Mandibuzz was the worst Pokemon he wanted to see. And as you mentioned, being able to reset the debuff from the acid spray was also very useful for Emilio.
Yeah, absolutely, and did it at pretty much the perfect timing as well, considering he was just about to launch the second one, and
Yeah,
Emilio was therefore able to just get it over to the Vigoroth while also getting off a couple counters, putting
yeah,
the Scavalier even lower on HP.
yeah. And we both have seen it. The mistiming on the counters, which may at the end have an impact, as we've seen the Mandibuzz survive at the end with very few HP. So we've already seen one game from Dexby and one game from OTK with very, very small, not mistakes, but non-optimization. Hopefully at the end of the matchup, it's not costing too much to France.
Yeah, we'll see. It definitely is quite a close matchup, as we can see. But also, we are done with the set, I believe. We are at 27 points. So now we have the
Yes.
next matchup, Arsene versus Memichin Flona, who is rocking an absolute giga chat of a Munchlax, and
Yeah.
one of my favorite Pokemon in all of Great League PvP, Sableye.
Yeah. No, for sure. We see Memi this time as a little bit of a different team. The Dragonite is not Shadow, and we don't have the Mandibuzz. And Munchlax with the new move update, I think is pretty good. No more with Lick, but with what's the name in English of the
Tackle.
tackle? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's pretty good in this meta with tackle. Do you have the same point of view, Ilya,
Yeah,
or
absolutely. So
yeah?
tackle is usually strictly better than lick due to stab. Even
Hmm.
if lick is neutral while tackle is resisted, they usually do the same amount of damage. While lick is just easier to hit breakpoints against other Pokemon with. So, for example, a Cradily takes 2 damage from either a lick or tackle, so it doesn't really make sense to run lick anymore as long as your opponent doesn't have a ghost. So here,
Yeah,
for example, we don't see Sableye, which is pretty much the only ghost in the meta that is
yeah.
playable. So tackle can just go through the entire team except for Scavalier, especially with how bulky Munchlax already was.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty sure the only two things Munchlax is afraid of are the two counter users, and everything else it can just outbulk and body spam down.
Yeah, and Memi, which has a way more bulky team than his mates, with the Munchlax and with the Dragonite not being Shadow. Again, we have the question of the Lantern fast move, which is not known, and yeah, also the Wormadam. We've seen a lot of Bug Bites one, but we've also seen one with Confusion. So yeah, the Drapion is not bad for Arsenio, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. Drapion looks very good here, especially if it is Confusion Wormadam, which I
Hmm.
don't think it is because Buckbite is just so much better against Mandibus,
Yes.
the Umbreon here and there. However, if maybe second opponent doesn't have it, it of course doesn't make sense to prepare for it either. But also Confusion is much worse against Sableye, especially, which double resists the move while Buckbite is neutral. And yeah, Buckbust, it just doesn't one hit KO with the Confusion, so you really need that Buckbite pressure. However, Confusion is better against Noctowl, so it might still be running Confusion here.
Yeah, we will see. And we mentioned at the beginning of the stream, Arsenio who lost 3-0 against Yorkowski. So hopefully now he wants blood for revenge, and he goes nuts to bring points to France, which is a little bit behind already. And yeah, we know it's time to go back with the score.
Yeah, let's see the Arsene redemption arc. Okay, we do see Lantern against Mandibus, and also we only have one POV. It is
Yes,
Water Gun Lantern, which is quite peculiar. Oh, we do see some lag.
yes. Looks
Oh,
like few counters, but seems like it was okay. And yeah, definitely very good lead, even if it's not Spark on the Lantern. And Dragonite, which is a pretty decent answer to the Vigoroth. Is he gonna go for the superpower
oh, he
directly?
is going for the
Yes. Oh,
superpower. Also worth
interesting.
mentioning, so since the Dragonite isn't Shadow, it can easily tank a Body Slam, while non-Shadow, while the Shadow variant really can't. You kind of have to shield those neutral Body Slams. And therefore this is really nice for Mamie here, since they don't have to go down a shield to win switch advantage in the zero shields here.
Yeah.
Also able to
Oh,
reach that next Dragon Claw
yes.
against the Mandibus, absolutely crucial.
Yes, the French player is not in a good situation right now. He doesn't have alignment. He has a little bit of energy on Mandibus. And interestingly enough, he comes back with Vigoroth.
Oh, I
Maybe
guess predict.
predicting the Escavalier in
Yeah,
the back, yeah?
I definitely think Mamie predicted the Escav in the back here and wanted to get that energy advantage, so he could reach 3 body slams, which would get him the better matchup against the Escavalier here, actually, because Vigoroth against Escavalier might seem like a very bad matchup since both
Yeah.
have counter, but Vigoroth is weak to it. However, Body Slam is quite a good move. We all
Yes.
know it, we all love it. Body Slam is absolutely busted, especially with that synergy of only needing 10 turns each with
Mhm.
the counter. Who
Yes,
does
and
go for the
Escavalier
switch
does
though?
not have that much of a great stat product. And here, the Lantern having Water Gun will probably be very good for Memi because he needs to take down this Escavalier as soon as possible. And
And
yeah,
maybe
there's
realizing they won't be able to farm down, going for that Surf to KO and finish off that Escavalier, knowing that no matter how much HP HP that Mandibus has, it really can't do that much to the Lantern with the air slash fast move,
He
since it
has a
doesn't
lot. He has a
generate
lot of
enough.
energy. He has a lot of energy, so
Yeah, but
probably
even 2 foul plays will not
that's
take
the
out
problem.
Lantern.
Yeah.
Because not only is Mandibus one of the thickest Pokemon in Great League, so is Lantern. It's a really bulky Pokemon, so the only reason it never was really meta in Open Great League was because it didn't have a good cheap charge move. Thunderbolt
Yeah.
being its cheapest charge move at the time with 55 energy, and then its only water type coverage being Hydro Pump for 75 energy. So getting Surf here, while it still gets walled by grass types, it is way better now,
For sure. For
especially in
sure.
the neutral matchups.
Yes, yes, yes. No, Lantern definitely one of the mons who benefits the most of the move additions. And another point for Chile, which now leads 16 to 12. So it's really time for France to
Oh,
find
we
some.
do see that Munchlax, the Munchie boy we all love, and we do of course see tackle against Air Slash, and yeah, obviously Munchlax doing just a bit more damage here, because Munchlax is the absolute goat. And also Spamier, because Body Slam, of course, costs 10 energy less than both Foul Play and Aerial Ace.
Yeah, and we were not seeing that much issues in the previous games. And here on Memi versus Arthur, we see a little bit of lags. And the French, who again switched aggressively on Vigoroth. As you mentioned, the Dragonite does not need that much to shield. And again, he goes for
For
the
the
superpower. The
superpower
first
straight
time
away
it
again.
was not shielded. This time, maybe it's gonna be different. And
Nope.
no, second time. Second time
Mimi
that this
absolutely
Vigoroth is not.
controlling switch advantage here.
Yes. And last time he was able to reach a second move, and here it's probably gonna be the case too. Yes, this Dragon Claw, barely he has it at the last second, and yeah, Mondibus is gonna eat it.
Yeah, Mandibus doesn't really like taking another move here before even throwing a single one itself, which however also means that it has a lot of energy built up. It can easily throw 2 foul plays here.
Yes, but Munchlax is also on the bulky side, so not that big of a problem to take it. And I've not seen which is the last French Pokemon, but he's gonna take a Body Slam for sure, and it's Flygon, not at all a bulky one. So again, Munchlax is gonna tear through those mons, and again a Body Slam. Munchlax, as you said, is making a lot of work right now.
Yeah, Munchlax, the small but very thick boy, able to reach that next body slam, does have to shield, but still gets the shield back easily because there is no way in hell that Arsene can afford to no shield that body slam, since it would take out at least a third of the Flygon. And now we do see the Lantern come in. We'll just use the shield no matter if it's a bait or not, and reach the KOing surf here.
Yes, and because for sure this Flygon would deal way more damages than Mondibus, and yeah, Arsenio is sometimes, very often, is very good and bringing a lot of points, but it seems like he needs to find the key of the meta to find the playstyle which fits ease and the meta. So looks like he's struggling a little bit there, but hopefully he's gonna do everything to bring at least 1 point on the French pockets.
He still has a chance. That fortunately wasn't his last one, but let's see if he grabs it and actually takes this opportunity to get that last at least 1 point.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I think he doesn't play Drapion because he prefers the Vigoroth as the flexible pick, but problem is 2 times we used it as a safe switch, and it was against the Dragonite and took the superpower, so really complicated.
we do see a Sableye into Vigoroth lead, which is also quite favorable for Mamie here, with the Lantern and Dragonite picks in the back, which also, as we have seen before, are quite flexible as a pair against Arsene's team. And the first foul play goes unshielded, putting Vigoroth basically in the yellow. What is also quite interesting to note is Mamie is running a purified Sableye to, of
Yeah.
course, bait the opponent into thinking it's return, but running Power Gem because it's just strictly the better move in this meta, with Pokemon like Noctowl and Mandibus running around.
Okay, and I'm surprised he froze the rock move here because the foul play would have KO'd, I think. And okay, maybe he wants not to KO and have a little bit of energy. I'm surprised. Don't you think
I,
the second foul play would have KO'd?
I think it would have barely not KO'd, but with
Okay.
a with a Shadow Claw extra or two, it would have.
Oh, and very good catch of the French, who catches this Dragon Claw onto Escavalier, which is not very bulky, but okay, I was gonna say resists, but still, I mean, in this meta, you cannot not shield too much moves, and oh no, that's critical. This other Dragon Claw was not expected, I think, from Arsenio, and yeah, probably gonna help the Chilean a lot.
Yeah, even resisted, still dealing quite a lot of damage to the very frail Escavalier, especially due to Dragon Knight itself also being quite frail. And we do see the Lantern with the two shields up, can just water gun down the Escavalier while just using said shields.
Yeah, and unfortunately, probably the Flygon too, who has a move, but with very low HP too. Oh, and
Oh my
very good
god.
catch from Mimi. Incredible. That was the only chance of Arsenio to bring a point, and still I don't think the Flygon is close to the Earth power. So yeah, but
I'm not
very
even
nice
sure
catch.
Nerf Power would KO, considering a Drill Run Escavalier barely does 2/3. While
Yeah.
Earth Power, of course, is a stronger move and Flygon has Stab on it, Flygon also has at least 10 attack less than Escavalier, depending on IVs, so it might not even take out the Lantern at this point.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Lantern is very bulky, and
So we will find out. I do believe it will KO at this point, but I'm not sure this is
I'm
an
not
Earth
sure
Power.
it's enough power.
No, only a Dragon
No, it's a
Claw.
Dragon Claw. Pity.
Two Dragon Claws would have been
We would
enough,
have
but
loved to have the answer to
unfortunately.
our questions, but unfortunately we don't. And oh my God, Chile is now leading 18 to 12, so a little bit of an advantage now. It was
I
really
gotta
close at
say
the
though,
beginning.
I played against Mamie too in this meta, and Mamie is really, really good in it, to say
Yeah,
the very least. Mamie just understands the meta. While he also doesn't like it, he had to admit to me, he is very good at it. He just understands what to run in what order and how to play out your win conditions.
for sure. And we've said at the beginning both countries very good players, so on both sides very good. And maybe he played a little bit differently than his mates, but as you mentioned, I think he understands a lot how the meta is going, and if in addition he manages to do the good choices with the superpowers, and then if he manages to catch too, for sure it's a difficult task to beat him. Ah,
The
I
next matchup, Noxious versus Villigen.
yes.
Noxious, the one who got away, the boy who still hasn't come to a play Pokemon tournament to see me.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why he doesn't come, I guess.
Yeah,
But
because I'm going to all of them.
yeah, and if you do all of them, the poor he won't be able to do one. But anyway, yeah, we've seen Willie Jen who did great against Dexby. I think he won 2-1, avenging his mate, and now he's facing Noxious. Again, the French having a lot of Escavalier, a lot of Drapions, a little bit. I was expecting Arsenio to bring it a little bit more the game before, but here, just with the
I also see
Manzibuzz,
the
it's
Shadow
already way.
Drapion again.
Yeah, but with the Manzibuzz, it's less interesting, I guess, maybe to bring him.
Oh, you know what I'd love to see?
No, tell me.
Ice Fang Drapion.
Oh,
We saw
that.
it before it got Poison Sting, and here
Ah,
you have two targets that are double weak to it.
so
And the
it's
Mandibuzz, which only has aerial aces and air slashes to throw at you.
if you would have said it before when Arsenal was playing, I would have said, "Oh my God, you're right," because it's something Arsenal likes to do, to have the Ice Fang Drapion. And yeah, we don't know because it did not bring it, but maybe that's the, yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think Ice Fang would definitely be the most interesting thing to see here. We do see a Dragon Merm, I believe, however, and an immediate Vigoroth safe swap. Absolutely not a fan of that Dragon matchup.
Yeah, I know you are angry about the French picking it. I'm not surprised. Dragonair, which is quite stable and neutral against the old team, and now we see the, yeah, Vigoroth mirror after the Dragon mirror. Yeah,
Yeah, Vigoroth throwing that Body Slam into the opposing Vigoroth. Absolutely unable to tank a Body Slam, however, will tank the counters. And not predicting that Willy Jens Vigoroth would be able to reach another Body Slam if he doesn't throw his own, and
yes, but
therefore
I
taking
I
it out.
get I guess he's very disappointed because he would have loved not to throw this energy and keep it for the backline, especially for this Dragonite, as we mentioned, is not really capable of tanking it very well. So here we probably see a shield and a farm down, even if probably Noxious won't let it happen and aggressively switch maybe on his Dragonair. Oh, okay, he reaches another body slam, which is huge.
Huge body spam. Yeah,
Yeah.
Vigoroth getting that second shield absolutely crucial, and having a move ready on the Dragonair to immediately snipe the Dragonite. It won't take it out. Oh my god!
Oh, it's not a body slam. It's an aqua tail. I was gonna say no more body slam, but yeah, still another body slam. I don't know if he's not running body slam or maybe misclicked.
Yeah,
Weird.
that was quite interesting. Absolutely unpredictable there.
Yeah, that's what we are, French, unpredictable.
Yeah, perhaps running Dragon Pulse then? Well, we can't tell because we don't have the POV, but
No, no,
that
no.
is the only reason I could see.
Yeah, and yeah, or maybe, it happens sometimes you think it's on the left, it's on the right. And we see the Shadow Drabian, it's not running Ice Fang.
Unfortunately, Poison
And
Sting, yes.
yes, but, and I think he's not going to KO with one
Yeah,
move.
definitely needs two charge moves here.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate for the French player. And Triturar, which is Crunch, yeah, is not enough. Oh, he tried to catch really quite quite too soon, and I'm
Yeah,
afraid he's
Noxus
not
unable
leaving
to
with a
count
lot of
those one
energy this
turn
matchup.
moves here.
Yeah, even if he was leaving with a lot of energy, he would have lost CMP on the Dragonite, and
Yep.
Superpower, boom, is crushing this Drapion.
Yeah, Shadow on Shadow Violence absolutely going down.
Oh my god, I'm starting to worry for my French mates. Even if I did not play this invitational meta, of course, I'm deeply supporting them. And yeah, it was quite tight at the beginning, and now it's going into a slaughter. This five Pokemon core on Chilean team is really doing well, and I think they are learning every game after how to play it perfectly. Again, I think it was not a bad lead for the Chilean, but still he decides to safe switch Vigoroth. To be honest, the French does not have a huge answer to Vigoroth, even though it's one of the main played among meta. And so again, he goes with his own Vigoroth, and hopefully this time, yes, no second body slam for Willie Jen, so a little bit better for the French. Okay, I'm quite surprised not to see the energy being tanked by the Wormadam, but here we're probably gonna see a shield from the Dragonite. We've seen Dragonite Shadow with energy after a farm down is really threatening, and
Able to reach yet
again,
another body slam once again.
yes, that's what we like to see.
Oh, you biased, Nico.
Yeah, 100%. But I told it, so it's okay. I'm allowed. I'm allowed. I mean, even all the people who wants to see as many game as possible want the French to come back in this matchup, right?
Yeah, the Shadow on Shadow violence. Holy crap! The Dragon Breath's doing so much. And here we have the Steel Bug against Steel Bug matchup where both are hitting each other with those counters and Bug Bites respectively. You know, Bug Bite is the second fast move that Escavalier learns. It's just that nobody ever runs it because counter is
I
just
did not even know.
absolutely better.
I did not even know. For
Yeah,
sure.
because nobody really cares about it. It could just as well get acid as its second fast move, and nobody would care any less about it than they would right now. Because counter being the best fast move in the game, even without stab, you kind of just don't want to run the alternatives.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this Escavalier is gonna be quite dry, so the few HP remaining will, yeah, just be additional energy on this Dragonite. And yeah, the crunch is probably gonna be enough, don't you think so? Maybe he
It
survives.
definitely is. Yeah,
If
Shadow
he,
on Shadow,
yes.
absolutely not even close.
Come on, Noctius, let's go. No, great. I mean, I think the catch that Willie tried to do was really well timed, but maybe it was anticipated by Noxious, and yeah, it would have probably changed the outcome of the game. But yeah, this time very good execution from the French, who scores a very important point.
Yeah, we do have the Vigoroth against Shadow Drapion lead, which is quite good for the Vigoroth here, considering the body slams do such a huge amount, and unlike the Poison Stings, counters actually pressure it quite a bit.
Yes. Still, I would have imagined the Chilean player faking a little bit the bulldoze, but no, and the French safe switching into Vigoroth, and again these Dragonites, which are sent as an answer. So the French has a move stored on the Drapion, but we've seen already that this matchup could be really tricky for Vigoroth.
Yeah, we do see the Dragonite throwing a Dragon Claw here. Wait 1 second. Getting that shield, and Vigoroth able to once again that body slam before being a Dragon Breath down, and either getting the second shield, as we can see here, or it would have easily KO'd the Dragonite, and not able to reach yet another body slam, unfortunately for Noxious. However, we do see the Drapion come back, which will have to shield this Dragon Claw. There is no shot Noxious has the guts to no shield here. Oh, he does! Just giving away his,
Is
not
crown?
only his Drapion, but I believe
Yeah.
also the game.
Yeah, it's weird. I've already told Matthew you should never say a French will not do something. You've seen 2 seconds after he does exactly that. So now he's banking everything on his Cavalier. We don't know if he had acid spray as his mates, but still, I don't think. Few counters are missing, so I don't think it will be enough to KO. It's Mega
You know,
Horn.
Nico, I'm starting to believe that what we learned in history in school is correct. So,
But
what we learned in history for multiple years, the French exist, the French love white, and the French particularly love it on flags. No other colors, just the color white. And that is pretty
yeah,
much what Noxious just showed us.
you think he surrendered? Yeah, maybe. It's weird because uh, I mean, when he came back with the Drapion, I was assuming, yeah, he was gonna shield. He had the
I'll
move.
be right back. My nose is running. Give me like 20 seconds.
Okay. So, guys, if you don't know, on Grymbreakers formats, the first team to reach 25 is granted the winner spot. So now France is in a really difficult situation, quite close to being knocked out of the tournament. Even though we did not mention it, but the losing team here is going to be eliminated, but as a fourth country on this meta. And interestingly enough, this invitational meta had cash prize. So if I'm not mistaken, the fourth team is going out with $100 cash prize to be shared with all the players. But
Even better,
still, it
100
can
euros, Nico.
It's not
euros.
better anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure in the current situation it would have been better in dollars, but yeah.
It's not better anymore.
My
Or at least it's
apologies.
not
I'm
much worse.
comparing it to my Australian dollars.
Ah, okay.
We use that as toilet paper over here. It's not worth very much.
Okay.
That is very fair.
No, and when did this meta start? In beginning of August? No, because it has been very long, no? The whole format.
I think beginning of August might be correct.
Okay, at least for the definition of the meta, maybe not the matches, but yeah, for sure, all the players are a little bit tired. Maybe the move updates brought something a little bit fresh. But still, even if they are tired, I hope the French did not surrender. And
It's actually middle of August, so it's not that
okay.
bad.
No, still, it's quite long, I think.
Yeah, 14th of August, so it started a month and 10 days ago. Or 11 days ago.
Yeah, and I don't want to bring it to you, Ilya, but maybe the French surrender at some time at the beginning, but on the long term, at the end, they go to the victory. Not alone, with support of other people, but I'm sure the chat is maybe behind them. So maybe they
I
can.
guess
Maybe
we'll
they
see
can
in a
bring it back. Yeah.
couple. I guess
Yes.
we'll see in at most an hour whether that statement aged well,
Yes.
considering the
Yes.
Chileans
We'll
only
see.
need 5 more points to finish out this matchup.
I know.
While
And
the
I know
French
the
need
result.
12
So
more to flip it.
yes. Okay. So we don't have the last game. Okay, so I think so. This is OTK against Nacho. No, okay, don't worry. Take your time. I think had we seen 3 games from Arsenal? No, maybe 2. No.
We are at 33 points.
Yeah, 30. So we from Noxious we have seen only 2. No.
Have we?
Ah, okay, 3. Yeah, maybe.
The time in this meta is progressing so fast.
No, and a lot of the matches are really similar. I mean, especially as the
True.
Chilean player have almost the same team. Okay, so this is the right game. Okay, great. So we have OTK 42, even if it doesn't come from 42. Funny. Uh, back with his Noctowl, and Nacho is back with the Chilean team. So basically, everyone has the same team except Memi, no? Yeah, I think it's the case.
I know that Mamie has a very different team with the
Yeah,
Munchlax at least and the
Munchlax.
Sableye.
Yeah, and the other one have the same 5 months, and Dragonair or Sableye or Escavalier as a 6. Okay, so more or less the same situation as before. I think the French, they need at least one bulky mon, and they need to find a way to have energy advantage, as Dexby did at the beginning. But Nacho and the other ones are very aggressive with their dragons, Dragonair, Dragonite. So it's very complicated to have energy in advance.
Yeah, let's see how these matches pan out and whether France can fight back out of this pit.
Okay, Flygon against Mandibuzz. At least it's a Dragon Tail. I'm pretty sure with shields it's good for Flygon. And OTK tries to catch on his own Mandibuzz, but Nacho was not in a hurry. He did not throw, and now he can make his choices with way more reflection.
Yeah, Vigoroth against Mandibus, not a particularly interesting matchup, but at least we have a lot of charge moves being thrown, and therefore the Switch Clock being worn down quite quickly. And
Yeah,
Vigoroth throwing that next body slam here.
Yeah, is OTK going to wait for the clock to maybe try to snipe some energy on the Vigoroth with the Flygon? Maybe. For sure, the Mandibus will not be protected. The situation here for the French is not very good. He probably needs a good farm down on Vigoroth, especially as here Nacho is sending just after reaching the body slime. But unfortunately, I think the Mandibus won't be KO'd by this one, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Mandibus absolutely easily being able to tank it, and with just a slither of HP, I'm pretty sure that is 1 HP, able to reach that foul playstyle. So as we all like to say, IVs don't matter until they do.
Yeah, and this time it would have been really catastrophic if the farm down was completed, but at least taking a shield before is pretty great. And OTK did not threaten this energy by sending his move, but opted for yeah, having a little bit more
Oh,
energy, and now
Nacho
he goes for
losing
the Stone
sneak in
Age.
here to a one-turn desync, I believe.
Boom! Or Mandibus is so tanky.
Yeah, even the super effective Stone Edge, due to not having stab, just able to tank it like an absolute boss.
Yes, and Noctalki wanted a probably better matchup in the back, facing a Dragonair, and now going for the Sky attack. Is it gonna be protected? Yes. Nacho decided I'm gonna shield my dynamic and more powerful Pokemon, and you know,
Oh, does throw on
timing
CMP,
perfectly. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely perfect timing. Yeah, does not get the shield. However, will knock out the Noctowl before getting hit with that nasty, nasty Sky attack. The bigger question is, will he be able to take care of this Flygon without 2 body slams stored? Because I don't believe he will reach a second one before getting Dragon Clawed.
Oh, he survives with 1
Oh my
HP. Oh
god.
my
Yeah,
god.
OTK definitely had to throw the charge move there.
Yeah,
However, the Mandibus was, I believe, on the move actually, or very close to it at least. So he had to try and farm down.
Yes, yes, yes. And his Mandibus survived with 1 HP, and his opponent Nacho is, yeah, also surviving with 1 HP. It's what I mentioned with this level of competition. It's very often that the games are very close, and it's only a matter of few HPs at the end.
Yep.
Oh my god, the
Yeah. So
victory is closer and closer for the Chilean team.
yeah, Chileans absolutely rocking this meta.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
Once
sure.
again, Vigo against Mandibus matchup. We saw it before. Been there, done that. And we see both players opting to run Dragonair in the back, with
Mhm.
with Mandibus on Nacho's side and I believe it was Flygon, yeah, on OTK's side. So Flygon actually wins the one shield against Mandibus straight Dragon Claw if it is Air Slash.
Okay.
I don't believe it does against Snarl Mandy because it just outpaces it by one fast move.
Yeah, incredible. And this Snarl Mandibus from OTK, which is charging pretty fastly those charge moves. But yeah, the Vigoroth can take it pretty well, and now he's gonna body spam as we have seen already hundreds of time. And again, aggressive switch from the French, which has by the fact a little bit of energy advantage for the mirror.
Should also be able to reach the second body slam before being farmed down in this mirror match. Or it will be very close. I am not actually sure he will.
What he's gonna decide now, probably not to shield. What is his last Pokemon to farm? Flygon. Flygon is unfortunately gonna take some damages from those
Maybe he
Dragon
comes
Breath.
in Mandibus and tries to foul play. Nope, going straight into the Flygon, getting that energy advantage, and won't have to tank a body slam, fortunately for him. So
Oh,
gets to
that
keep that shield.
yes. That's a good news, but again, he has two shields, yes, but this Pokemon is not bulky, so or the air slashes, but it's not air slash, it's snarl. So pretty good news because I think if it was air slash, the fast move pressure would probably have been too much.
Yeah, absolutely not unlikely. I think bait isn't needed here though, since he does still have a shield. So
Yes.
correctly throwing the Stone Edge. However, Nacho just as well correctly predicting that it's gonna be thrown and shielding it up here. Oh my
Oh,
god, and we
great
see a
catch.
catch against the foul play, which still is a risky play though, because foul play isn't gonna do a lot of damage. And the Vigoroth, it can take Nacho deciding to stay in here. So that is definitely a correct play as well, because if he switches out, Vigoroth might have to tank it, while this way he can just farm up more energy because a Stone Edge would take out the Mandibus regardless. He doesn't really care for it too much. And now he decides to throw the Aerial Ace to get rid of the Mandibus, or the shield, of course. And yeah, the Flygon will absolutely have to shield the foul play here. And it's not in Dragon Claw range.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate for OTK, and Nacho also has his Vigoroth to maybe
No,
make a
throws the
catch.
Dragon Claw,
Yeah.
doesn't go up to the Stone Edge, so probably hoping to be able to farm down the Mandibus. However, Nacho predicting that correctly and swapping out, reaching that Body Slam just before getting KO'd.
Yes, yes, yes. It's not. I think Nacho already made once in a previous matchup, saving his Vigoroth, and at the very end, like this, aggressively switching to reach a body slam with few HP. Uh, that's amazing. That's why Vigoroth is so good, and Chile they use it very, very, very good.
Yeah, absolutely elite gameplay that we see here, saving up that Vigoroth with just as much energy as he needed to reach the Body Slam before taking the second Dragon Tail's damage, and also predicting that he has to stay in with Mandibus in the mirror match there. So now we do see a Mandibus into a Scavalier lead with both players having a dragon in the back, and Mandibus on OTK's side, while Nacho's opting to run that Vigoroth in the back. So Nacho is really happy to see a Scavalier in the lead here, because that means that the Vigoroth won't have to worry about it later.
Yeah, and again, OTK tries to catch, but it's not successful. And again, the Escavalier does not have Mega Horn, so it's a pretty bad matchup against Mandibas. And here again, we are gonna see a lot of body slams on this Vigoroth, who is going to annihilate these Mandibas on the
Yeah, I
long
can't
term.
believe we're once again switch locked in this matchup. So Nico, how was your day?
Yeah, a lot of body slams, a lot of Mandibas. No, well,
A lot of, particularly in that order too.
yeah, I really have this feeling we have seen 3 games, but 10 times each, with a lot of Vigoroth and Shadow D Knight on the Chilean team. But I mean, when you have a good recipe to victory, you have to use it, right?
Yeah,
But it,
it's an absolute deja vu situation, but we also
yes,
know why it is.
yes, because it's very strong. But already the first time France reached a final against Spain, I don't remember the meta. The Spanish team already. Um, Brought with at least 5 or 6 players the same team, and it was really frustrating for when you see the opponent as a great team and you don't find the key to break it. It's complicated.
Yeah, Flygon able to farm down the opposing Vigoroth here, and with the shield disadvantage, this is quite rough for Nacho here, because Flygon, as I said before, is slightly tankier than the other dragons, and it with the energy advantage as well, it might be able to reach. Oh my god, has that
That's
charge move ready on the Escavalier, and correctly is able to snipe the Dragonair here without the potential of a catch.
Yeah, and that's a really good play, especially as he knows his energy is not going to be really efficient on the Mandibuzz, and now the Mandibuzz is locked. He can go for acid sprays and drop the opponent defense and goes rumble with the counters.
Yeah, especially because it's a Snarl Mandibus, he doesn't have to worry about being farmed down. There is no shot of that happening. So Nacho is just forced to throw one charge move here, therefore not being able to have to ready for when Flygon comes back in. And therefore Flygon is easily able to farm down the Mandibus in this matchup here,
Yes.
using its shields especially.
Yes. Finally, it looks promising for the French. Can he go? Okay. He goes for the full farm down. And
Opts the shield here. And this should KO. Yeah, it does KO the Mandibus, and now he has the Dragon Claw ready. So, absolutely elite play by OTK in this specific situation, where he
Yeah.
correctly predicted that Nacho wouldn't predict his snipe there, throwing the drill run and getting the Dragonair really low to then also reach an acid spray against the opposing Mandibus.
Yeah, and we've seen Nacho immediately did not shield his Mendy, so I think he was aware about the Escavalier not running Mega Horn. So yeah, it was really a good idea for OTK. He tried to catch, but even if he did not manage, at least he could keep his energy on his Escavalier for later, and he used it perfectly on the opponent Dragonair.
Yep. So what is the next matchup we will see? Tonton Bateus versus Ventuski.
Yeah,
Really
Ventuski,
good battlers on both sides.
yes, I'm not sure that we have seen Ventuski yet. I'm pretty sure we have not, but his team is not that of a surprise because it's again the same 5 Pokemons, and Flygon has a six.
I do believe Ventuski was one of the players that we didn't have a recording for one of the matchups for. So this is definitely the first matchup of Ventuski that we are seeing, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Isn't that
I'm
right,
pretty-
Fish?
But
That's
yeah,
right. There we go.
confirmation he is running the same team as his mates. We will never know if Yorkowski also had the same team, and maybe he
That
was
is-
the only one to have something different. But even if it's more or less a one-trick pony, honestly, if you have a good team, if someone in your team says, "Guys, I found something really great. I can explain you the logic of it," and why not?
Don't fix what ain't broke.
Yes, yes, and it's a team format, so for sure they should share as most as possible information and tips and tricks and things like this.
Yeah, I also love this Hisuian Quillfish pick on
Mhm.
Tonton's side.
Mhm.
I myself was running Overquill while we were still in. It didn't quite work out for me because it's just a bit too squishy,
Mhm.
but it has a lot of variety with the Ice Beam potential, Aqua Tail, Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, and Shadow Ball. It has 5 amazing charge moves to choose from, and with either Poison Stab or Poison Jab or Poison Sting,
Yeah,
I just mixed the two words in my head for some reason.
it's okay.
So with Poison Jab or Poison Sting, it also has 2 amazing fast moves, where it just has to choose: would I prefer to have more energy, or would I prefer to also be able to easily farm down Pokemon in the later matchup?
Yeah, no, definitely a very great Gym-breaker pick. I think we did not see it during the first match of Tonton. Maybe we will see it now. I mean, I would like to. It's not a Pokemon I've played already, so always interesting to see new mons in action.
Let's get into it. We do see Vigoroth into Dragonair lead. We have seen this before somewhere, and Vigoroth, as we all know, outpaces to the Body Slam by 2 turns.
Yeah, we have seen it
So-
somewhere, a lot of place, at a lot of time.
Yeah, we do see the Body Slam go through and do a ton of damage due to being stabbed, of course. And Tonton also opting to go for the Body Slam before having the chance to farm up to a Dragon Pulse bait potentially. And therefore Ventuski knows, yeah, I don't really have to shield this, whatever. Opting to now throw a Body Slam before switching out to put the opposing Vigoroth into easy farm down range for probably Dragonite. Oh, actually going into the Mandibus here with Ear Slash, which also, once again, is the Vigoroth is in 1 charge move range now, or potentially even farm down range if he opts to keep going here.
No, I think he goes to close to 100 energy and he throws a move. I understand he does not join the battlefield with Dragonite because, as we've seen, Vigoroth with energy threatens the Shadow Knight with Body Slam.
Yeah, that
But
is true. Shadow Dragonite does not like getting body spammed to the face. And also, Dragonite is just way more flexible in the end game, considering the Dragonair is basically out of the game. Meaning there is no Flygon to just outbulk it anymore.
True.
And we do see the Mandibus not only get a shield, but also get switch advantage here.
Yeah, that's a very bad news for the French, and I also think the clock will be back. So yeah,
Yeah, the clock is back
immediately
up,
when
so
this
Ventusky doesn't
Ventusky,
even have to give them the chance to get energy from the Mandibus. However, also lost the chance to catch now. Doesn't really need it though, considering he has 2 shields left. And now also only 1 shield on Tonton's side, while Ventusky has 2 charge moves loaded.
yes, nice try to have this catch, and even if it failed, the Dragon Breath made a lot of damages. And here, oh my God,
Oh my
the
god,
fast
3
move
ball,
pressure of this
2 shield
Dragon Breath
flex.
is amazing. Yeah.
Why all 3 Pokemon were really low on health, but it still is an absolute disrespect with having all 3 balls still and 2 shields. That is absolutely destructive.
Yeah, I don't know if we have the games in the orders it was played, but if it's the case, Tonton is probably very low in moral right now because he absolutely needs to win, and his opponent is not using his shields. Yeah, it's a little bit rough. Again, a good lead as we've seen. Resisting the counters for Dragonite is pretty good. So yes, he doesn't want to be body spammed, but at least he can make the choices. So if he wants to have the alignment, he will have it for sure. Will he go for
Yeah,
the
Dragonite has
superpower?
so
No,
much
he goes with
control
the
over
water.
alignment, especially with how much damage the Dragon Breaths are doing from the Shadow variant here.
Yes.
Oh, does opt to switch out instead and preserve the Dragonite's health while also being able to keep the second shield. I don't expect him to shield this body slam here, opting to rather have the shield for later for one of his dragons. Oh, this is actually really good for Ventusky since this is the only Pokemon that can hit either super effective to Ice Beam, of course.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna see this Quillfish. And there, oh my god. Again, the Vigoroth would have had a body slam, and Tonton Batters realizing it, and very good timing, sending his energy. But yeah, he would have loved to throw this energy on another Pokemon than this Vigoroth with very low HP.
Yeah, being forced to throw your energy is never nice. And now the Dragonite also coming in to deny any chance of reaching another charge move, while also either getting the shield here or putting immense pressure on probably the Mandibus, if anything. It is the Quillfish actually,
Oh,
and we do see
yes.
Poison Sting on it. Should
Yes.
be able to farm down the Shadow Dragonite due to the squishy nature of it.
Yeah, but is he gonna try to move on Vigoroth?
Oh my
Yes.
god! Gets to throw the Dragon Claw against the Vigoroth here. That is absolutely disgusting. Very
Yeah.
good catch. However, being able to get rid of that Vigoroth might be quite crucial since the Quillfish definitely is in one Dragon Claw range from Flygon here.
Yes, it's tough, and we see a Dark
With
Pulse.
Dark Pulse, actually.
And here, yeah, the Dragon Claw is launched by the Flagon.
Yeah,
Terrible.
probably
I
has
would
to
have
run
loved
Dark
a
Pulse
nice
instead
beam.
of Aqua Tail due to land. So can't really run Aqua Tail Ice Beam as a bait nuke. So that's probably the reason why he didn't have any win cons left in the end there.
Yeah, so I'm happy. I've seen a little bit for a few seconds of Eastwind Quillfish, but unfortunately, another victory for Ventusky and Chile, who reaches the 24-point mark. So it means, yeah, basically France would need to win 10 games straight to reach the tiebreak, and Tonton Batters who brings into the battlefield the lantern.
Yeah, so Lantern, we do see Spark, which is probably the correct moveset, considering it's way better in the mirror match as well as against Dragonite and Mandibus, while while still being neutral against Wormadam and Vigoroth. However, it is triple resisted against Flygon, which makes the matchup for Flygon quite good, since two serves do not KO Flygon, depending on IVs, of course.
Mm,
And yeah,
And
we see a Thunderbolt being correctly shielded here by Ventusky.
yeah, to be honest, the French rarely have very good answers to Vigoroth safe switch, which is a little bit surprising to me. But again, this lantern is living without energy, so yes, this Mandibus will KO this Vigoroth at some point. But again, I'm pretty sure Dragonite will be able to come and farm down a lot.
Yeah, Dragonite heckin' loves farm downs. We all know it, and Dragonite loves it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Dark Pulse, while being a better move than Foul Play, still not able to take out the Vigoroth here. And oh my god, Natuski
Yeah.
over farming, mispredicting whether he could tank the move and going for yet for an extra fast move there, which yeah, let's just say Vigoroth was not prepared for. New mechanic, not consistent yet, unfortunately, meaning
Yeah.
he just lost the body slam and gets the shield though.
Yeah, I was probably not expecting maybe the Snarl to making faint, but yeah, again, a Dark Pulse who lands, which is very good for the French, and Ventusky is playing really good. He
It's a shiny Wormadam.
Yeah, that's a good flex. So basically, he knows he is gonna shield on his Wormadam, but he keeps an energy enough, a move banked on his Dragonite. And here, I'm gonna discover this matchup because I have no clue how it goes.
So this
But
Dark Pulse isn't gonna do anything, even if you know shields. It's not even gonna do 50%, I don't think, because as we all know, yeah, Mandy, Wormadam, it do be kind of tanky.
yes, yes. Overall, I think it's what happened all day long this evening. The French have less bulky
Oh
team,
my
and
god, gets the debuff.
yeah, that's
Nasty.
yes, that's horrible for the French. I am to watch this.
Yeah, so as we see, Dark Pulse barely did 50%, just a bit less, and he still has a Dragon Claw stored on the Dragonite.
Yeah, and
I'm
I'm pretty
pretty
sure it's
sure
only
even a
surf.
Thunderbolt will not KO here.
Yeah, and it's surf
And it's
only.
only a surf, yeah. Oh, actually, Thunderbolt would have probably KO'd.
Mm,
Might be a non-XL Wormadam then, especially considering its shiny status. But yeah,
no,
Bug
shiny is
Buzz
enough.
will
If
definitely
it's
KO
good
the
IVs
Lantern
in
here at
addition,
the.
it's too much.
Oh, actually, that was quite risky to swap there.
Yes,
The safest
because
play
very low
would have
health.
definitely been to just stay in there and let your Wormadam get farmed down, because that way, if you lag, you can just dispute and get a def win by your referees, but still, it was enough due to IVs. And Chile goes into the losers finals, kicking out
Yes.
France, who broke this meta out of the competition.
Yeah, to be honest, now that I
Nico,
watched
you know,
games,
you love,
I,
I love you guys, but holy
yeah,
cow, what did you guys do?
to be honest, I did not see any matchup
Uh,
before this evening, and now I understand what you mean. It's true that the Dragons were really, really strong, and the matches were really fast, so it was complicated to have very deep plans and gameplays because yeah, it was very short-term things as the pressure of the Dragon Breath and the dragons overall was a bit much maybe. Yeah.
it is a bit too much, yeah.
But yeah, if it was the choice, I mean, it was the choice of the French. They paid it against this team of Chile. Who really, this core of five Pokemons really made the difference. And I'm pretty sure, as it's always the case for French, they have been outbulked because we really like the dynamic plays. But Lantern, Wormadam, Mandibuzz with the bulk, yeah, it made too much of a good work, and also most of the time not a very good answer to Vigoroth safe switch.
I
So
am still very upset that we didn't get to see Ice Fang Drapion.
yeah, true. But maybe Arsenal was Iceman Drapion. Maybe we will
Fair,
never know.
fair.
Maybe he's in the chat and he can say us, or maybe another French in the chat knows. But
All right,
yeah,
so
Yeah, I guess.
thank you, boys. That was an amazing job and some fantastic battles. Did you want to? Do you have anything you want to plug before we head out? Maybe raid one of these other streamers.
Go to play Pokemon events, people. If there is any nearby, go there. They are absolutely amazing. It's so much fun to either play, probably shoutcast, or judge. If you are interested in either of that, if you want to shoutcast or judge, apply to the professor program. It's pretty easy. You just Google "become a professor Pokemon" and you're gonna find the site. And if you want to play, yeah, RK9, Twitter, all the info's there, and just go to them. It's amazing meeting the community, and if you get the chance to, please do so.
And Nico.
no, I agree. And so I'm gonna follow his advices, and I'm gonna I'm gonna apply to be professor and maybe join him at some tournaments to cast. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we did it a lot in French to cover the American regionals in French, but why not try to do it in English? It's fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds
so
amazing.
while live tournaments, of course, have been a big amount of stuff in the beginning. However, ever since COVID hit, it kind of didn't get back up, of course. But Play Pokemon gives exactly that. Like, we have, I want to say 70 something people already registered for Lille. We had
No,
49
Wow.
more
people
than
registered
80.
for Bilbao.
I think
Right, it
we
was
reached the
78
80
when I checked
yesterday or
last
something.
time.
Yeah.
It's 83 now. 83 people are coming to Lille in France to meet and play the game, and it's absolutely amazing. It's one of the best experiences, I can only tell you, from a judge's side, of course, but I don't expect a player to have less fun considering they have less work, so to speak, to do.
All right,
Yeah,
so this stream has been brought to you by Pogo Raiders. If you are looking for an online tool for hosting and joining raids, check out Pogo Raiders. They have been optimizing a fully custom raiding organization tool for over a year with over 3,000 raids a day and over 150,000 members. You must try their free raiding tool. Beyond that, they are also a community of dedicated Pokemon Go players. Join their monthly PvP tournaments with cash prizes. Find some help from some of the best players in the world, along with access to infographics and information about everything upcoming in Pokemon Go. That is pogoraiders.gg or discord.gg/pogoraiders. We will be back here with the losers round 7, Italy versus Chile. See if Chile can back up that amazing performance against France. Bring it against the Italians.
They have been very good, but maybe they won't be able to do this again to bring the same team. But we'll see. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, same here. I actually have an Italian background myself, so I feel like a bit of a kinship. I feel like they're paisan, as the Italians would say.
Great.
All right, thank you boys for joining me, and
Thank you for hosting.
yeah, oh man, absolute pleasure to have you. We'll catch you later.
Yeah. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye!
And